FM.
KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. And if you were there, you would watch me raise my seat appropriately. Oh, I feel a whole lot better. I don't know why it had
What happened?
lessened. Welcome on to 3 hours of fun. The Blitz is here. He is Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson in a levitating chair. He is James Pledger in the studio of fun. Lights are out.
he's turned into
is
Club ESPN with the lights off in there.
A little
man.
mood lighting.
Little
take us
mood
into
lighting. The spirit of Johnny
midnight hour.
Campion is back in the building.
Taking your requests. James Pledger. What would be on your playlist?
For like a radio station?
No.
No.
Well, obviously,
Valentine's. If you were DJing, if you were working the overnights on a I don't know, middle of the road, adult contemporary station.
some Sam Cooke,
Sam Cooke, all right.
a little Marvin Gaye,
What about
maybe
Led
some
Zeppelin?
Redbone.
You can't say that.
What? It's
I
the
mean-
name of a group.
I mean, we're talking about Pledge. He's playing Blink-182's What's My Age Again? He's just making sure.
I don't know why I suddenly fell into a Valentine's frame of mind, but welcome aboard.
Do you have
By the way,
plans
if-
for the weekend? Are they set?
I actually kind of do. I actually do think I'm doing pretty well left to my own devices. But if you have not, this is a good way to transition into something we're actually doing for you folks. How about a $500 gift card for 2 lucky couples to treat themselves this February? However you want to do it. It's cash for couples. Get yourself signed up. Go to ESPNSA.com. But anyway, if you are running out of time, if you are planning to do something, although our choices are kind of limited this year. It's still not, Anyway, we look forward to a good second night of a back-to-back against the Golden State Warriors. We won't have Derek White, though we will be coming in with a nice little win streak. What a nice game that was last night. By the chinny chin, they held on, although the separation was respectable. But there were some mistakes to be made by both sides. A valiant and well-earned win brought home last night from the San Antonio Spurs, who once again feel like they're on the uptick.
You look at that game, and that was, and DeMar DeRozan, solid. That was the Dejounte game. The Dejounte Murray was incredible last night. Big 3-pointer at the end. 8 steals, nearly a triple double.
Monster, man. Monster.
Well, that's it. What did DeMar say? I don't want that kid coming to my house. He might steal something. You look at that.
Sticky
You go,
fingers.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a triple double with steals being up there as the 10th? I know 8
I
was
believe it happened. A quadruple double happened right here with a guy with steals. Alvin Robertson got one, I believe, with steals and blocks. A quad.
And that's
So yeah, it's happened.
A couple of
it's
weeks.
in the lineage. Yeah, it goes
Yes.
back a few years, and I believe David might have
Decades.
come awfully close. Although I think that was assists and blocks, not so much steals. Maybe, but yeah, man, it's in the lineage, and it was what we like to see. And Pop certainly had a lot to say about the perimeter defense and what they did to improve. We'll talk about the win and Draymond. What did he call it? The dumbest smart play you'll ever see, or the smartest dumb play? Which one was it?
Draymond Green is going to be a PR pro when he is done, because he can put the spin on.
Smartest dumb play in the history. I know most people won't see that and kind of put two and two together of what's actually going on there. So very smart.
See, y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Play that ended up being dumb as hell.
I explain to me the smart part of that. I mean, maybe if there were 2 seconds left, maybe if there was 3 seconds left, I don't know. Maybe if Steph Curry wasn't wide open, I understand. Yeah, hey, try to draw the foul. You're not James Harden. Yeah, that was. But man, spin it,
Dude.
Spin it for me, Draymond. Spin it.
It's on another level, Jason. He's doing chess when you're thinking tic-tac-toe, bruh. He's on a whole other level. It looks dumb to most everybody, but when you're flying at the altitude that Draymond's at, a 45-foot shot with 8 seconds to go, that makes perfect sense.
That's smart,
Bro,
Rob.
You're just not educated. You need to get down with the game.
I'm telling you. I mean, and of course he missed, so it was dumb, and he didn't get the foul call, so it was dumb. But his thought process was smart, man. You can't. Come on, Draymond. I mean, spin, man, spin. Whoever's doing PR for the Golden State Warriors. All right, Draymond. That was really, really dumb. You're going to get blasted. So here's what you say. It was really smart. Even Sean Elliott was speechless, and that doesn't happen very often.
Everybody on the court just kind of stood there for a second. Did something just happen that I missed? I didn't hear a whistle. What just happened? Why did he shoot? You could tell.
I don't know what the line was last night, but
was it Dejounte that went and grabbed the rebound where everybody else was just kind of standing there like, I don't know what just happened. I guess the game's over, right?
Did I not hear the whistle? Oh, because nobody would do that in the actual game. No whistle? That happened, huh?
If he'd have thrown a bucket of confetti, everybody would have been less surprised. That's Draymond. He's not that, but he's on another level.
No. One thing that we did have at the game last night, and I thought it was cool. I was trying to figure out what was going on. There were fans in the stands last night. Not a lot of them, and apparently they're all employees of Spurs Sports Entertainment. There will be fans tonight as they go through all their safety protocols as a test, because according to a letter that's been sent to season ticket holders, the plan is fans at the end of the upcoming rodeo road trip.
Let those robots do their stuff, man. Until they take over the world, let them valiantly defend us. And let's get back into it. They're in other places.
Yeah.
And we got the rodeo all right. I was talking to James before we came on. The rodeo road trip sucks. Every year it sucks. It is a bonding experience through the agony of travel. After your third week and you're in Milwaukee and it's 17 below zero, and it's bad, but at least it is tempered by the unifying things that teams can do. This year, the rodeo road trip, it is like being sent to the gulag, man. I mean, you get hotel, flight, gym, hotel, flight, gym, hotel, flight, gym. That's it.
Yeah.
A bunch of food in boxes. Nice. I'm sure the finest hotel. Sure. And you're resting in the softest of linens. But it is still the gulag, man. How miserable is the rodeo road trip going to be for these guys this year? Thank goodness this might actually be going away in the long term, somehow, some way. But this is awful.
And it's weird that we actually have to have the rodeo road trip this year, since the rodeo itself, which starts this weekend. Look, we're going to have freezing temperatures, perfect to kick off the rodeo. Some things never change, but they're at Freeman Coliseum. The AT&T Center is going to be open, and with no fans, what does it matter? I can't believe when they put together the schedule, they didn't say, well, the AT&T Center is open all February.
It's hats off to them. It will be a unifying experience if it's just going to be done through Zoom and those kind of meetings from your palatial hotel room. The jail's still a jail if you can't leave it. I don't care how soft the bed is; it's still a jail. We'll have Evan Klosky from Ken's 5 join us. We'll talk about the Spurs game. We'll also have Jill Jelinek of Sports Tonight and YOLO at 6:30 for Game Night San Antonio as we prep you fully. Get you fully prepared, primed, and marinated for the Spurs to take on Golden State in the Segababa. Thank you for reminding me to carry that on. We'll also look at the Super Bowl ratings. Odd numbers, though not surprising in the grand scheme of things, though it really wasn't as watched in the sum total of things as much as I thought it would have been, Jason. Were you surprised by not so much the decline, but even in the decline, I thought the names, I thought the circumstances, I thought because people couldn't go to bars or at the numbers that we're accustomed to, that they'd be staying home, that there'd be literally more TV sets, but that was not the case.
There's so many things. I mean, the Super Bowl ratings were down. The game sucked. I don't know what they didn't release that I've seen anywhere what the hour or quarterly hours were. What was it at kickoff? What was it after halftime? I mean, the total number from start to finish, those numbers are down. One of the things they do with ratings, though, is, they figure on parties and bars and that sort of stuff. And every TV, X number of eyes are on it. And then when you take bar establishments, they factor those numbers in too. Maybe they didn't do that. And the streaming number. So people with cable, whether it's like a Spectrum, a Direct, or a Dish, that's one thing. But the streaming numbers were way up. So those of you with YouTube TV, or you count in the streaming numbers, the Rokus and the Fubus and all that other stuff. So, overall, we didn't get over 100 million for this Super Bowl total numbers when you take regular TV and streaming services, which is a bit of a surprise. But the number's still pretty damn impressive for a game that wasn't. It was a boring game. Even when it was somewhat close, it was still a boring game. So the casual fan, yeah, they could check out.
It was a testament to the names, maybe, that they drew the numbers that they actually did. Because you're right. It was, in sum total, apart from the establishment of the GOATness, a forgettable Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We won't look back on the halftime as, valiantly as they attempted, and we won't look back at the game as anything worth remembering other than Tom Brady, ascending above and beyond the sport itself, which I guess is enough in the grand scheme of things. I've buried the lead, Jason.
Yeah, you have.
Your good friend and mine, but certainly you've known him for a lot longer. Drew Pearson is going to join us, the newest Hall of Famer, Dallas Cowboy, a circle complete, a career, actually, I guess, completed. Took way too long, and I'm sure we're going to talk with a very happy Drew Pearson. As you put it, the other day, the original 88.
The original 88, and just in texting with him over the weekend when the announcement was officially in, and then he was on a plane yesterday. He'll be happy and excited, but that dude is on cloud nine. And it'll be fun to talk to him coming up in about 45 minutes.
There's an article in Sports Illustrated. We're going to talk about at 5:30, and this is a very interesting and in the what kind of weeds in a very baseball way article about doctored baseballs, about the major league's intentional changing of the ball itself and how it was manifested over the last 3 years. Some of it accidental, I believe. Others certainly do appear to be baseball manipulating the sport itself with the juiced baseballs. There are pitchers that are upset at it. Are you? We'll talk about it at 5:30 and look at other sports that have manipulated the very structure of the game to fit the times, and has it actually worked? Very interesting. 6 o'clock, Dr. David Espinoza will join us, and we're going to look very closely at what turf toe is and how long it takes to recover from surgery for such a thing, because Patrick Mahomes appears to be having it immediately after running for 7 or 8 miles in desperate attempts to thieve the ball, quite accurately, might we add, downfield to try to get a win. Espinoza will join us, and we'll look at his injury and others for our weekly ESPN San Antonio injury update. So anything you want to add to the party, guys, before we head to break?
Go Spurs, man. Huge win last night. But again, it's off season. You've got drama in Dallas involving your Cowboys quarterback, and a couple of middle-aged guys are going to try to play social media police and detective work here.
We're pretty good at it. Let's look at the disgruntled quarterbacks and how they communicate with the people. Coming up next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Jason Minix here for my friends over at Alamo Water Softeners, a great local company owned by the Townsends. I've known them for about a decade and watched that company grow over the years because they have a great product and great customer service. On the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners for years. Wouldn't live without one because, again, we have some of the hardest water in the country. If your water tastes bad or has an odd smell, call Alamo Water Softeners. They'll come out to your house. They'll test your water. They'll give you a free estimate. And right now, you can save $300 on select Water Care water softeners. You think about getting a water softener, you're going to get better tasting water. You're going to notice the difference immediately on the dishes coming out of your dishwasher. They're not going to have those spots all over them. You'll feel the difference on your skin and hair as you get out of the shower, on your clothes as they come out of the washing machine. And you'll save money because an Alamo water softener can extend the life of your appliances and your plumbing. And again, right now, $300 off select Water Care water softeners. Go to alamowatersofteners.com to learn more. alamowatersofteners.com.
Love ESPN San Antonio? Watch The Blitz weekdays 4 to 7 and the Saturday Morning Hangover Saturdays 9 to 11 live at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. A Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 6677 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 6677. Enjoy.
We have finally turned the calendar into a new year, but if you still are rolling on those old brakes, you need to get them fixed. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. New Brakes is made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they will come to you. They'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, and fix your brakes while you continue to live your life. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes only uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews at nubrakes.com. If you know your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Schedule your appointment now at nubrakes.com, nubrakes.com. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. Go to nubrakes.com right now, nubrakes.com.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
Here's the good news. Even with high unemployment, there's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today at mycomputercareer.edu. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hi, friend. It's your home speaking, and I need some favors. Could you turn on some of the lights in the basement? I'm scared of the dark. Also, this one is easy. Could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico so we could save money? Last thing, just a suggestion. Could you steam clean the carpets? I need a spa day.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
Welcome aboard. You're on ESPN San Antonio. This is The Blitz. He's Jason Minnick. I'm Rob Thompson. We're brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson. His number is 210-900-0400. His website is lawyerforus.com. If you've been involved in an auto collision, you need to speak with an attorney as soon as possible. If you've been injured, Jason Thompson's available 24 hours a day. Your consultation is always absolutely free. Let him get to work for you. But Deshaun Watson seems to have been that last little scab that a lot of quarterbacks have been watching, and Deshaun Watson just kind of ripped it off. And now quarterbacks around the NFL either ain't happy or are about to get moved. The numbers are growing. Now, Dak Prescott is in this netherworld, right, Jason? He's not disgruntled, but he doesn't have a contract. Or is he disgruntled? Because social media, I can't quite figure it out.
You got to put on your IG detective badge and say, what does it mean when somebody scrubs, say, Houston Texans from all of their stuff? That, to me, would be disgruntled. But what does it mean when he follows your competition? He followed the Redskins or football team yesterday, but then quickly unfollowed. Now, I've accidentally hit the follow button on people I don't want to follow and unfollowed them. So, but nobody notices that. Was it an accident? Was he scrolling through? Was it suggested for you? You should be friends with them. Was that the IG World programmer guy that might be a football team fan suggesting to Dak that he would look good in those ugly colors? Anything is possible. I don't know what to make of it. It's, but I do know that there is some legs to this being left out of the hype video. That's where you might be a little disgruntled.
Well, at least feisty brother was.
Yeah.
Angry brother was.
He stirs the pot,
what's
man.
his name? What's
Tad.
his name?
Tad.
That's about right.
Yeah.
He's kind of like your girlfriend or your wife trying to defend you on social media.
Yeah.
I know you're meaning well. It just doesn't. It's just not a good idea. You're opening doors that we really want to go. Don't want to go down those halls. So I appreciate you, and I know you have 100% of me. I know you do. Just like I know that whenever you see shade thrown by Brady's wife or somebody else, you're always kind of like, yeah, I know you love him, and I know you have his best interest at heart, but you that's just not in the code. You just can't do that. If he has something to say, he'll say it, and if he doesn't want to say it, that's fine.
Except for like J.J. Watt tweeted out after the NFL awards were announced and Aaron Donald was Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to say what my brother won't. DJ had blah, 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 blah. Should have been, right? I mean, sometimes your brother's got to stand up for you. In this particular case,
I don't care if it's JJ, who's bigger, stronger, and older, or who. It just isn't a good look.
So somebody's got to stand up for you every now and then. And
where did it get him? What exactly did it get him? Did it work?
No.
But
it just makes you feel better. I mean, it
makes who feel better? Who should be feeling better at that moment? That my brother has my back? Well, did I need him to say that? Did that make me feel better? Did I honestly believe that I was better than Aaron Donald? Do I need to look in the mirror one more time and then look at a picture of him and look at a mirror? And I know I look good, but am I Aaron Donald? There's a lot of other issues there that
I took from JJ's tweet that TJ was pissed that he didn't win.
That's fine, but let TJ say it doesn't help the situation.
No,
ever.
It never does. It never does. You're right, ever. But in this case, and again, it was a complete fumble by the media department for the Cowboys. And
absolutely.
But it was not a shot at Dak Prescott individually. But if you're Dak Prescott and this is a hype video for the next year, yeah, I do think there is something like, dude, how'd they leave me out of that video? It probably didn't register with Dak when he first saw it, until he saw all the uproar over it, and the uproar leads to the anger. You see what I'm saying?
I had to watch it twice to make sure he wasn't in it. It's so many fast cuts,
You did it twice? I'm impressed. I had to watch 4 or 5 times just to make sure he wasn't somewhere in the background. But we know you can watch it once and realize he's not featured anywhere in there.
No, not at all.
And name a team with a starting quarterback, a surefire starting quarterback that would put together a video without him. It was dumb. Imagine if the Packers had done this to Aaron Rodgers and left him out of their hype video.
I agree.
I mean, again, it's dumb, but when you think about messaging, it starts and ends with your quarterback. I mean, you got Troy Aikman in there, you got Emmitt Smith in there, but you didn't think to put Dak in there.
Can we throw this out? This was done. It's a 30-second video. Mm-hmm. And you had to get it out there. I don't know what it was done for. Well, to this moment, I still don't know what the purpose of this video
It's a hype video. That's all it was.
It was just and it was put out by the Dallas Cowboys to promote the Cowboys on social media. It was just a one-day thing. It wasn't presenting anything. It's just a way to keep the Dallas Cowboy name on people's lips, right? Is that what that was? Do we expect to have more hype videos coming out next week? Do they do it very often?
I mean, to be honest, and I'd have to go back and look at it. Isn't it sponsored by somebody? So they have to have so many social media posts with so many different videos. That's part of their deal. But they put out a hype video. Off season starts now. Day after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about Tom Brady. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Let's put together a hype video.
So who do you think does the hype video? Do you think it's the same person that cuts up the game videos, or do you think it might be a PR company?
No, it's in-house with the Dallas Cowboys. Their social media
so it's
team.
in-house. So somebody in there was tasked on their social media team to put together a 30-second hype video. And there is, in fact, a shortcut. Now, keep in mind, this is a bunch of quick cuts, but there is one a little bit longer to start it with Troy Aikman throwing a pass. Right? Then there's Zeke well, first we get Emmett, right? Then we have Emmett, and then we have others. Did we have Leighton Vander Esch? Was he in there?
I don't think so. Jalen was.
But Leighton Vander Esch wasn't. Does Leighton have a right to be upset?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because some special teams guy was in there too.
I just get the feeling that whoever cut the damn thing forgot to put the Dak part in. Honest to God, I think he put it all together. He had 35 seconds, and he had to put together 45 seconds of brilliantness, and just started cutting. And for some reason, felt like he had to have Troy and left Troy, but remembered a quarterback and didn't move on. I think that's all it is. And in fact, Marcus Spears, didn't he say today that he called and got the same story? Like, trust us, we feel stupid. This was an honest mistake.
Well, and Derek Ingleton, who is in charge of that department, has been on Twitter. I don't run from heat. No need to apologize. It's just, in fact, he even goes back to some of the shows that they put out where he stands on Dak. He's posting all that. It was a mistake. He said, one of the consequences of mistakes is that you have to be held accountable. We made a mistake. We're being held accountable. Our team will learn from it and get better. That's life. I mean, it really is. But imagine, though, if Dak really is pissed off, right? And now Jerry's calling Derek going, what did you do to me? I mean,
exactly. Look, it's the weird intern. It's the weird intern. He was the only one that came to work with us the day after the Super Bowl. You think I had anybody available? I gave it to the weird intern. He didn't even know what he was doing. It's supposed to be 30, and he released 34.
But nobody's getting fired over it. It was a mistake. It ain't that big of a deal. It really isn't. But it's dumb to think that you could you imagine Spurs put out a hype video without DeMar DeRozan or let's go LaMarcus Aldridge. Remember we used to hear that LaMarcus Aldridge was upset in Portland because too many billboards featured Dame and not enough with him. Yeah. That stuff does matter to players. It does. But this is a whole lot about nothing.
Magnified intensely by the contract situations. And we did speak as we came into the segment, and we're going to talk about it in a bit because we got Evan Klosky warming up. He's in the green room eating snacks. We got to get him busy. We're going to talk with the Spurs about
snacks back there.
Hey, he's a great Twitter follow while you're watching the game. Evan Klosky at Kansas 5 Sports going to join us. We will talk about this again because we have Russell now talking about, I wish I had some more control. And then Deshaun wanting to leave teams because he wanted some more control. Isn't it kind of assumed by a lot of people that quarterbacks have some control? Evidently, a lot of us are wrong. We'll continue talking that. But Evan Klosky coming back. What a game we saw last night. Those guards are looking mighty fine. And LaMarcus, what about the dude? Evan Klosky joins us. We'll talk about that next, and we'll continue looking at the Super Bowl numbers. Greatly down, though still highly appreciated, I think. Hang around with us. We got a lot to talk about. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're having issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, there is one company to call, and that is Quarter Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. At Quarter Moon, they're experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps that provide estimates and second opinions. A great experienced staff that has earned an A+ ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. It's gorgeous day. Today has been for the last couple of days, but looking at the forecast, we've got some cold, freezing weather coming up. You want to make sure your heater is ready for that? Call Quarter Moon, 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Game Nights The Blitz focuses on your silver and black in depth for 30 minutes. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
Spend your game nights with us. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Hurt in an accident and dealing with hospital bills? Thomas J. Henry will help you with medical bills while we work on your case. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
O'Reilly. It's O-Rewards Bonus Points Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, which means you'll save money and reach your next reward even faster. Earn double O-Rewards points on 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $28.95, and get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate. Collect 150 points and get a $5 reward. Don't miss O-Rewards Bonus Points Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This week at Macy's, use your coupon or Macy's card and get an extra 20% off just in time for Valentine's Day. Save on top of already great deals like 35 to 55% off dazzling diamonds, gemstones, and more. And sleek handbags and wallets from Kipling, Nine West, Inc., and more top designers. Now 25% off. Plus, Star Money bonus days are going on now. Learn more at Macy's.com/Star Money. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
It is the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. It was a fine evening of Spurs basketball last night. They take down the Golden State Warriors 105-100. Let's talk about it with Evan Klosky at KENS 5. Evan, first of all, thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to catch up. And follow me on Twitter.
It's a pleasure to be on with you.
It is great fun. Insights are always spot on, I think. How do you debrief last night's game? What's the takeaway in your mind from where they're headed?
The first takeaway is Dejounte Murray continues to wow us, right? You got to remember that Dejounte Murray is still, I think, only 24 years old. Yeah, he recently turned 24 years old. So you have to remember that if he can continue to grow as a three-point shooter and really lock down that last element of his game, because he's already up to 61% around the rim, where we finally are seeing growth with him finishing around the basket. He's creating his own shots. His mid-range jumper has always been money, so it's just a matter of him making sure that three-point percentage continues to stay around the 35 to 38 range. He's around 32 right now. So once he gets that third level consistently, you are seeing what is possible with Dejounte Murray. And last night was a star performance from a potential star in the league, something that a lot of Spurs fans have been waiting for. The second thing is, even though Derek White had a tremendously awful shooting night and continues to he hasn't found a shot yet, if we're being nice about it. So, but the other thing is, his defense has been phenomenal. Outside of the first couple of games when he came back, what he is doing on the ball defensively and what he is doing to help others, when you package him with Dejounte, when you package him with Jakob Poeltl, who's starting right now, they are absolutely freaks defensively. And if you want a glimpse into what the future of the San Antonio Spurs is going to be like, it is going to be these grind them out games. Maybe the offense isn't sexy. Maybe it's not going to be putting up 120 points consistently, but they are going to wear you down.
You know, Evan, you talk about the defense, and obviously Derek White I thought was really good defensively last night. And I thought overall the team did a pretty good job on Steph, Steph being Steph and still making the shots that he is able to make, especially that one right before halftime. But, you're going to take that. No Derek White tonight has me very concerned about what Steph could do in the second night of the back-to-back.
Yeah, and we already know that the Spurs aren't the world beaters when it comes to back-to-back performances. They have yet to win one this season, even though I think their game against Memphis was actually an excellent offensive game for them. They couldn't play a lick of defense that game, and Memphis was out of control. But back-to-backs have been squirrely. So I'm also very interested to see how they do without Derek White. Lonnie Walker comes back tonight. He'll be inserted into that role. And let's see how he does, because we saw what happened last night, and you mentioned it. They did a pretty good job with Steph for 3 quarters, and the threes that he made were pretty tough threes, and you just got to tip your cap to one of the best shooters of all time, if not the best shooter of all time. But yeah, I'm interested to see the defense. I'm interested to see how Lonnie does coming back off that stomach illness. And he's kind of been taking a beating the last few games that he's played, hasn't been the best. And, he's got a chip on his shoulder, so he's got to perform. And we're now kind of seeing what the defense looks like with Derek back in that lineup. Now we'll see if Lonnie is going to be very similar defensively like we all believe he can be.
Evan Klosky at Kins 5 joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, looking at the Spurs win last night. It is a Sega Baba kind of day. They do get him again tonight. Going back at him, minus the Derek White, they know that he's on he's not on a minutes restriction per se. He just ain't allowed to play 2 nights in a row. Not a bad gig of you.
Yeah.
But he will be sitting out tonight. And like you said, Lonnie will be coming back. One other thing that I do think needs to be talked about, and what might actually be a key to victory tonight, is the presence in the post. Jakob Poeltl was remarkably efficient in doing exactly that Jakob Poeltl things kind of do. And when you to help the Spurs win, and when you look at a line that offers you double-digit rebounds and double-digit points, granted he stepped in the starting role and plays a very different game from LaMarcus, but the high pick and roll game worked well. He certainly was efficient working with Dejounte. We saw all evening long, so that might be a key to victory. My question is that second unit. Where is Lonnie going to fit with this unit, and how much do you expect to see him actually get a little bit of Steph Curry duty?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that he'll get a little bit. I mean, Dejounte Murray was kind of hounding Steph Curry last night for a good chunk of time. Steve Kerr after the game said, look, I mean, all the beat writers there were saying, like, why isn't Steph shooting more? And Steve Kerr's like, I don't know if you've seen it, but Dejounte Murray is a pretty darn good defensive player. So, it's going to happen. And the reason why in the third quarter they were getting a ton of layups, Golden State Warriors, is they were doing slips because the Spurs kept sending 2 guys at Steph Curry. And that's just what you got to deal with. Sometimes you rather, give up a few bunnies versus have Steph cook from the outside. Go ask the Dallas Mavericks how that goes. So, I just want to say quickly with Jakob Poeltl, the dude is playing phenomenally. I mean, it's not a coincidence that the second unit was the best in the league with Jakob Poeltl. Now in the starting unit, they're starting to thrive defensively, and the second unit has not been as good. We like Drew Eubanks. He fulfills a nice need, especially with LaMarcus Aldridge out. But my favorite thing with Jakob Poeltl to talk about right now is on 538, they have those Raptor ratings, which kind of says, how you're performing this season. And if he met the minutes restriction, he would be the best defensive player by almost 1.5 points. He is at a plus 8.6 defensive Raptor rating. Clint Capella is number 1 right now at 7.2. Like, he is elite, and right now the best defender in the NBA if he just played 24 minutes per game.
It's funny because what he ended up with last night, just right about
14,
that.
14 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks.
29 minutes, because there's no LaMarcus. And you get Bill Land talking about a Poeltl jam, which is always entertaining. Now we just need to get Bill to throw in some lyrics there. It's funny because you look at Poeltl, and there's been times this year with Yak that you wonder why he's out there, and was he overpaid, and should he even be there? And then when he does get a lot of minutes and find his rhythm, he is a very different player and very essential to what the San Antonio Spurs are trying to do.
Absolutely. And I think what you're getting out of him right now, what you're seeing, and by the way, he was a plus 15 last night. Nobody else in the Spurs was double digit. So what you're getting out of Yak right now during this stretch while he's starting, getting into a rhythm, I think is sort of the ceiling that you can expect. but that is totally okay. Like the Spurs, when you look at Jakob Poeltl and what he does for this team, it makes you understand they are like one other big away from being a really, really dangerous team. And that's kind of where you're looking at, like people getting antsy, hey, in the offseason, what do they need? What do they need? And it's a guy like John Collins who can step in and be an
bouncy big
threat. Yeah. And like that, but it really is like, you watch this team and you realize they are one or two pieces away, but the number one piece is that big. And what Jakob Poeltl is doing is just proving that night in and night out, when he is on the floor, they are a dangerous team, defensively speaking, at least.
Evan Klosky, Kins 5, joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, looking at the Spurs win last night. Now, you bring up an interesting point as we sit. LaMarcus has missed several games. Obviously, his presence was missed early. Last night, not at all. It didn't feel, and precisely because of what you said, and also because what I heard Pop say post game, where defense is now taking hold on this team. And I think when Jakob is great or great in this system, when he doesn't have to do much, and I know we've talked a lot about, or he thought he was going to be more incorporated in the offense. He's a trash guy, a high pick and roll guy. Hit a rolling layup every now and again, block some shots. You're going to get your buckets, but they're never going to call your name. And when he did that last night, it was pretty. Where does LaMarcus sit right now?
So, for better or for worse, I have a tough time believing that LaMarcus won't start when he comes back. We can all debate whether that's the right call or not. Just realistically speaking, I think Pop will start LaMarcus. Where I think that Pop needs to alter his thinking, which is what we saw a little bit there before he got injured, is that LaMarcus can't close games. You just can't. Unless you're willing, like you're down 10 and you just want the offense over the defense, that screw it, we got to get lucky, then throw LaMarcus in there. But when it comes to protecting a lead, LaMarcus can't be out there. When it comes to certain matchups, LaMarcus is going to be better versus other matchups where he's unplayable. Like a team like the Grizzlies, unplayable. Even against the Warriors, where a team, their tallest guy is 6'7". It's not a good matchup for LaMarcus because he's not a dude who is agile like he used to be and can just dominate in the paint. He just, he's got to hang around the post. He can't really get these rebounds defensively speaking. So matchup-wise, it's going to depend night to night. And if the Spurs make the playoffs, it can come down to a series where LaMarcus works against that team, or it comes down to a series where LaMarcus has to play a reserve role.
He ain't going to be happy with that.
No, he's not, but he's on an expiring deal, and, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, and that's, kind of sets up to, with the trade deadline coming. I mean, I look at hip flexor, and I don't want to downplay an injury because maybe he's really injured, but, you see hip flexor, and that's this year's version of plantar fasciitis. Looks like rest to me. He's been out too long for it just to be rest, but the Spurs are getting a good look at what life could be like without LaMarcus Aldridge, and you get a game like you did last night from Poeltl, and that doesn't look all that bad for a hell of a lot less money.
No, and I think, after the season, I think the Spurs will move on from LaMarcus Aldridge. But I will say this, that, matchup-wise, as LaMarcus, just as I said, some matchups are better for him than not. Like when you play other teams and Drew Eubanks comes in against other teams in that second unit, I think he might be exploited a little bit more versus, games like Houston, games like Golden State, where they're playing small ball as well. So those are sort of the ups and the downs where, I love Drew Eubanks in that third big role, like how you project him. But I liken it to like baseball, where you have a utility player, he plays like 10 games for somebody who's injured, and you're like, man, this guy's not bad. And then all of a sudden he plays 15, 20, 25, and you're like, I'm not kind of loving what I was getting anymore. I kind of like him off the bench. I kind of like him back there. So, we'll see what happens, but they are going through a stretch of playing small ball teams right now. So I think that's why you're seeing Yak and Drew have a lot of success, because they do well in those matchups. And honestly, modern NBA, that works great for most teams projecting into the future.
It certainly does. Evan Klosky joining us here on the Blitz. Man, thanks for the knowledge. Appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you're following him on Twitter. Great to be along with him on the ride. That is a Spurs game. Spurs tonight against Golden State. Thanks for joining us today, Evan. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it as always.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Coming up, Super Bowl ratings were down, but how down were they? And quantifying them is awfully strange. Drew Pearson is around the corner. We're going to talk to the Hall of Famer just a little after 5 o'clock. Hang where you are. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com. How you feeling today? Did you wake up this morning feeling pretty good? Or did you wake up like a lot of people do? A lot overweight, probably didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, a little foggy. Grabbed enough coffee to get themselves going, but realizing now I'm on a full bend forward, motivated by caffeine and some more bad food. That's a cycle that is very hard to get out of. It can be easy to stay there unless you speak with a professional like Dr. Jacob Torres over at the Institute for Functional Health. That was me. I'm morbidly obese, nearly 300 pounds. I'm 6'4". I always felt like I carried it, but my goodness, it was a lot to carry. And when you lose 40, you realize how much that was. Dr. Torres explained to me that a one-size-fit-all diet program will work short-term, maybe, if you're really diligent, but can it work long-term if it's not made specifically for you? And I have to agree. The proof is in the output, I believe. The key here is Dr. Torres is a medical professional. He's a physician. He is here to monitor your health in every way possible. He's the only doctor I've ever met who was eager to get you off every possible medication by getting you healthy the right way. And the first way to do it is with your diet. Learn what to eat, how to eat, and all the different things that go along with a program put aside, made specifically for you. Your biology in play, your age, your chemistry, and all that goes along with it. Come together in a program that's monitored and taken care of and whipped and scolded and everything you need to be successful. Let me tell you, Dr. Torres has been outstanding. It's the best thing I've ever done. I want you to meet him. Here's the number, 210-468-1891. 210-468-1891. Call, sit down with Dr. Torres. He'd love to have you by, but he'll meet with you however you'd like. Go to his website, the Institute for Functional Health. Take that functional health test. I say it every day. It's an eye-opener. You can live in a remarkably healthier lifestyle. You can eat better and live better and add years to your life. And isn't that the point? Call Dr. Torres today. Meet with the folks over at the Institute for Functional Health. It's the best thing I ever did. You make that call, and I am sure at some point you'll thank me later.
ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing come together in our drive to end hunger. Brought to you in part by Quarter Moon Heating and AC, Roof Fix, and Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. We have come together to support the San Antonio Food Bank. Give what you can at ESPNSA.com.
Panera's new flatbread pizzas are here. But to our new chef, Klaus, they're not just pizzas. They're masterpieces. Because it's not just cheese, it's hot and melty mozzarella and fontina cheese. It's not just sauce, it's market tomato red bell pepper sauce. And it's not just toppings, it's fresh mozzarella, basil, and grape tomatoes. Taste our delicious new flatbread pizzas today. Order online for pickup or delivery. Panera. Restrictions apply.
Chrissy is refinancing her home, so she shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting her up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision she'll never regret, unlike wearing tap shoes to a surprise party.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to find the perfect hiding place.
Pretty regrettable, Chrissy. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, and other features are fantastic. Right now, get a free basic smart home security system for as low as $29.95 a month. Free installation, no money down, no activation fee, and no payments for the first 6 months on select home security system packages. Learn more at bsgtexas.com/radio. I love the security system in my home, and BSG installed the same system in my mother's house. Large, easy-to-use LCD screen, and the icons on the panel are the same as on the app. It's easy to use and gives you that great peace of mind. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222 or go to bsgtexas.com/radio.
In every relationship, there's a short list of forgivable offenses, but missing the most romantic day of the year isn't one of them. Valentine's is here, so head to 1-800-Flowers right now. 1-800-Flowers has an amazing last-minute offer like 24 multicolored roses for $34.99 or upgrade to 24 red roses for $10 more. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code BART. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code BART.
Okay, we've got Rick here, a veteran in the league who's gone 0-2 the past Valentine's Days. Do you think he can pull off a win this year?
I always like an underdog, Bob, but I'm not sure about this guy.
He's passing aisle 3, picks up a bag of wings. He dodges the produce section.
But will he pick up the heart-shaped box?
Heading toward the candy aisle. He's picking up speed. Oh, no, he chokes and heads straight to the checkout.
Unbelievable. This close to Valentine's Day.
Don't be a Rick. Make happy this Valentine's Day with a heart-shaped box of Russell Stover chocolates.
It is the Blitz. Drew Pearson. Yeah, that one. Hall of Famer. You know, this one did. He'll be here right around the corner just after 5 o'clock. We'll talk injuries, turf toe primarily. ESPN San Antonio's injury update, powered by the Sports Institute over at TSAOG Orthopedics, will be right after 6 o'clock. And Spurs talk throughout. A nice win on the Fergababa. Now we got the Segababa. And see if they can back that up, minus a Derek White, but plus a Lonnie Walker. But in the meantime, the Super Bowl after kickoff was less than compelling. But for the previous, 8 days or 14 days, it had been the most compelling story. It was exactly what the NFL would have hoped to have seen when they put together the schedule and they fought through all of the crap and the protocols and all that. They prayed that they could get Tom Brady playing at home against his heir apparent, the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes. They did it, and fewer people watched than expected. Fewer than even last year.
Well, and again, the total audience was 96.4 million, which includes both online and TV viewers. The Sports Business Journal says that the actual viewers from CBS was 91.629 million, a 9% drop from last season's 100.45 million. So the lowest TV viewership since 2006, but the streaming numbers increased quite a bit. So, a lot of people watch the game.
When you can't, what's the argument we're seeing now? When you can't argue fact, you argue process. At the end of the day, fewer people watched. I'm astounded by that, and I know I live inside the sports bubble, but it is literally what would have been cooked up by the media machine. If you ask the beast that is the NFL and the marketing that goes along with it back in August, when all the debate was going on how the hell they were even going to be able to do this. What would be the logical end? What would be success? And we'll count back from there. Well, success would be Patrick Mahomes defending what was a miraculously won Super Bowl last year against Tom Brady with the new team and all that. Let's get there and we'll call it a success. And it should be, and it is a success. But the fact of the matter, the viewership is down. Well, even adding in streaming and all of that, it is still fewer people that even watched last year.
And again, you look at the 9% drop. You had a blowout in the Super Bowl. First time there's been a blowout in 18 years, which the second largest blowout in a Super Bowl in the last 18 years. If I remember right, Seattle took out Peyton Manning pretty handily in that Super Bowl. So there was no reason to stick around. The weekend did not get people to stick around. And so when you have a bad game and a less than stellar halftime performance, and I think partly the lack of a buzz about these Super Bowl commercials and the fact that they're all online ahead of time anyway. So, I look at somebody like my mother who watches one football game a year, told me that around the second quarter, she put on a recording of Blue Bloods. So, I mean...
Put on a Lifetime. Lifetime.
True story. She watches Blue Bloods every day. She records them all and watches them. And she was bored with the football, and the commercials didn't entertain her. She didn't know what the weekend was, and so she's watching Blue Bloods. So when you get somebody like that, even my brother, who is a football fan, but he generally only watches the Cowboys, and that's it. He said he made it to halftime and turned it off. So I do think the casual fan, which generally attracts a lot of the Super Bowl mega audience, there was no reason to stick around. It wasn't a good football game. The commercials were and halftime was what it was.
A largely forgettable Super Bowl, but what could have been? What was it, John McCain? Certainly in John McKay, the former great sports guy type what is it? Our greatest fears and worst aspirations are so rarely realized. I mean, our greatest aspiration should have been the shootout that was, and it was a blowout. When you say that, it was. It didn't really feel like it. It always felt like maybe Mahomes could pull, a rabbit out of his head and pull a rabbit out of his hat and get it done. But it was, at the end of the day, and in every kind of debriefing session, it was a blowout. It wasn't even close.
No, and again, I mean, I think for guys like us and those of you that listen to ESPN Radio, at some point you were thinking Mahomes gets one play and gets this team back on track. We've got ourselves a game, and you just kept waiting for that to happen. I'm curious, and we'll never know because you got the matchup, the storybook, everything that you wanted in this Super Bowl. No surprise, right? What if that game would have been 45-41, 38-35 that goes down to the wire, the final possession, seeing highlights earlier today of, the greatest run through quarterbacks. And, they were comparing what Tom Brady did this year, having to go beat Breeze on the road and Aaron Rodgers on the road. And then Patrick Mahomes, the first time you've beaten 3 Super Bowl MVPs on the way to winning Super Bowl MVP. They compared it to Eli beating Tom Brady. And you had the Tyreek catch on his helmet and Plaxico before he shot himself in the leg catching that touchdown. Great Super Bowl. What would the ratings have been then if that game would have been competitive into the fourth quarter? Probably record-setting.
Oh, it would have been the likes of which TV has never seen and might not see again for some time because literally so many people were eager and they wanted to be there. I do believe that. It just wasn't compelling. And then you're right. And I agree. There wasn't enough other content. The commercials were, and we'd already seen them. The weekend was, but how's he going to do it? But nothing will be memorable. We will look back on Tampa, unfortunately, as a very memorable year, involved with lots of memorable moments and a story that'll be memorable in that is Tom Brady. But it's the last page in his chapter. And in the chapter of 2020-21, it just won't register. It's unfortunate. You know what will register? Drew Pearson. He's going into the Hall of Fame, and he's going to join us next. I'm so excited for the guy. We cannot wait to talk with the Dallas Cowboy and NFL legend, due to get a gold jacket and a bronze bust in his future. We'll talk with him and look at the rest around the NFL, disgruntled quarterbacks, and an interesting discussion on doctored balls in baseball. Hang where you are. You're on the Blitz.
Cowboys hired Dan Quinn to take over the defense.
You can do something with Jalen to get him back to being a productive player, because that is something that Mike Nolan didn't do. Let Jalen go, stop the run, rush the passer. Jalen doesn't need to be back in coverage and playing 98% of the snaps like he did this year. Get him dialed in and focused, and maybe he gets back to being the kind of player that he was that got him the contract when he and Leighton Vander Esch looked like they were going to be two of the best linebackers in the NFL.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor. If you missed a turn, there's always another turn. Take it to get back to the turn you missed. Use your turn signal. Progressive Motorcycle also presents Roadside Assistance. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today. Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray, cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrell Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrell, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
This President's Day, Dell honors all you do with exceptional savings up to $300 off. Power your passions with our latest tech, like beautifully crafted XPS computers and powerful Alienware gear featuring Intel Core processors. Work, learn, or play from anywhere with essential electronics, including monitors, plus free shipping on everything. Call 800-BY-DELL or visit Dell.com/President's Day. That's 800-BY-DELL.
Chrissy is refinancing her home, so she shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting her up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision she'll never regret, unlike wearing tap shoes to a surprise party.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to find the perfect hiding place.
Pretty regrettable, Chrissy, unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
KCDC San Antonio.
Hi, this is Manu Ginobili.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM, where the pros play. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. We're so glad you're with us. He is Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger driving this boat all the way to shore at 7 o'clock. You know, it's sometimes a long time in coming isn't the easiest thing to deal with, but when you finally reach the destination, it might have been worth it. Let's talk to a gentleman that got an honor that is long overdue. Dallas Cowboy great, the pride of, South River High? Drew
Yes,
Pearson,
sir.
our Hall of Famer joining us, sir. Welcome aboard and congratulations.
Thank you, guys. South River High School, South River, New Jersey. It used to be the home of Joe Theismann, but now I think they'll start calling it the home of Drew Pearson.
I think they've been calling it the home of Drew Pearson for a long, long time, my friend. Congrats,
you
man.
Got that right. You got
Congrats.
that right.
Drew, you've been coming
Thank
on
you,
this
guys.
station. This station turns 13 on Thursday. And, you know, for about 13 years, you've been coming on this radio station on a pretty regular basis. And about every interview, we talk about the fact that you need to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And you finally are. Take us through the process. I mean, when they announced you on the senior committee, we kind of, you're going to get in. But we weren't sure. You even came on the air then and said, until you get the knock from David Baker, there's still something there for you just to make sure. So take us through this whole video presentation that they did. Then you had to obviously keep it a secret. Take us through what this process was like, my friend.
Yeah, it was, let me tell you, it wasn't that painful because of what the outcome turned out to be when you think about it. I've been through a lot tougher things, but I got nominated in August. The senior committee, the lone guy, about a year ago, you guys saw what happened in January when I didn't get that call for the Centennial class and how disappointed I was and how that went viral. But it's amazing how I only had to wait 8 months to be considered again and get nominated as the lone candidate for the senior nomination. So I got that, and then you have to wait till the votes happen. And then when the votes happen, it's a long wait again until you find out the results, because even the voters don't even know the results. It's just certain people within Pro Football Hall of Fame that know the results. So it's all a mystery until you finally get the word, and you don't know when the word is coming. You think it might be during the Super Bowl, like the normal process, but because of COVID, things have been done a little differently as far as letting the players know if they're in or out. And so what Mr. Baker was trying to do is trying to make everybody feel special that was going in by making his presence there to make the announcement. And for me, the presence was at the Cowboy Star. They had told me to come over, me and Roger Staubach. Roger knew, but they also included me in the email from the Cowboys to come over and meet with Jerry Jones. And this is on January 25th. Okay, I found out on January 25th. And they told me not to tell anybody, man. And I'm like, what? How hard is that? You know?
I'd have just gone and bought a yellow jacket.
You know?
I'd have just gone and bought a gold jacket. Just worn it around.
Bursting at the seams, you know? Anyway, we're meeting in there with Jerry Jones, and he's just talking business because I thought it might be something associated with real estate, which they said in the letter, that's what they're thinking it's about. And so I'm thinking it's a real estate something because Roger and Jerry are involved in real estate ventures, and especially that high-rise condominium right there at the Star. So we get there, and Jerry starts talking, and next thing you know, you hear a knock on the door. Jerry says, Drew, go answer the door. So I went and answered the door, and filling that door well was big David Baker. His head, big old head, come through the door first, and then a camera crew right behind him. So I knew he wasn't coming there to tell me no, because I don't think he would want to tell me that in person. Not at this point, okay? So I knew it might have been good news, but when he said, Drew Pearson, I'd like to welcome you as the next senior nominee or selection into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And bam, everything just took over from there as far as emotions. I look over there on the other side of the room. Jerry's over there grinning. Roger's grinning. They look like they ate the canary or something like that. They knew they got me good. And so that was the sting. And, he told me then. And then afterwards, we did a little some interviews. And then Jerry and I met in his office for over an hour. And I hadn't had that much time with Jerry Jones ever. So we talked about a lot of different things. And so that's how it happened. But that's how they did all the guys. Either they visit their homes or, something of that nature to surprise the guys that are going in to let them know about their induction and that they made it this time.
Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor member. Now let's add the next Hall of Fame member, Drew Pearson.
Sir.
Here on ESPN
HOF, baby, 2021.
Absolutely.
I've been writing it. First thing I asked them, when can I start writing HOF? And it started this past weekend. You got to follow a little protocol. You just can't come out signing that HOF. You got to follow the protocol of how it's done. But this week, when all of us got together, and then we start signing some merchandise and stuff like that, that's when they said, now you can include the HOF 2021, and you can include it forever. And that's great news.
Yeah, now I got something else to add to my collection.
No kidding. One more thing to add. My question to you is, how much has your acceptance speech changed over the years? What would it have been like before, and how do you think it's going to be now, given what you went through?
Yeah, well, guys, unfortunately, it's going to be seriously condensed because talking to Mr. Baker, we had a one-on-one meeting. He had one with all the finalists, and one of the things he said is that because of time limitations, the acceptance speeches are going to be limited to 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
Do they know you?
I'm going to have to really condense it. I might have to get a speechwriter to try to fit it all in. And he said they're going to cut you off or gong you or something. And I said, okay, you might be able to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, I might be able to get a megaphone in my pocket. So when they cut me off, I'll be able to continue the speech. But anyway, I'm going to try to get as many points in as I can within that time period and try to make an impact in doing it. I've been thinking about a lot of things, but I haven't put pen to the thoughts to paper yet, pen to paper to, start really thinking about it. So I think now is the time to start doing that. And then you got to start thinking about your presenter. I'm thinking, if they're alive, it'd be either Coach Landry or Harvey Martin, but they're not with us, unfortunately. God rest their souls. But now in the mix is Roger Staubach, of course, my quarterback, my kids. I have 3 beautiful adult kids. And then growing up, there were 7 of us kids, and I only have one sister left, and she's my older sister. So she's in the mix as a presenter as well. So I'll decide that later down the road. But I'm going to start working and thinking about that speech and trying to get as much as I can within that time period.
I think you need to negotiate, and you're a savvy businessman, with Mr. Baker there and go, okay, 6 minutes for this one for getting in, and then I need 6 minutes for every decade that I was left out. So now you're about 20, and I think maybe, well, I don't even know if 20 is enough, man, because it's an incredible story. It's crazy. 6 minutes. So you find out on January.
Jason, you know me, Jason. Though I got a big mouth. Okay, sometimes I don't even need a microphone. Okay,
No.
they could cut me off, but I could continue just yelling it out, something like that.
Drew,
so
you made a pretty big impact in
I'll
far
find a way
less
to
than.
see if I can extend it. That's for sure.
Well, we do know this, Drew. You made a bigger impact with fewer minutes on a Philadelphia stage.
There you go.
You didn't need 6 minutes. That 3 minutes is going to live in legend. So now I'm pretty comfortable. The points that need to be made are going to be made by a great man. Congratulations, Drew Pearson, Hall of Famer.
Thank you.
Now, I'm really curious about the sit down with Jerry. How did that go? What was discussed?
Yeah, we discussed a lot of things. And first of all, he told me how happy he was and proud of me and how much he respects me. He said he's seen me a lot on TV. He's seen me around and how I carry myself and represent the Dallas Cowboys and how he appreciates that. And, then he started talking, I'm involved with the Dallas Cowboys in merchandising with an online apparel business called cowboylegends.com, where you can get legendary merchandise. And it's all blessed by the Cowboys to do this. So we talked about merchandising, and then we talked about what we're going to do in Canton. And know what he said? We're going to have a celebration. We're going to have a celebration. You know how it gets. And then I talked with Cliff Harris, and he's going in that weekend along with Jimmy Johnson. So it'll be 3 Cowboys there. And we even talked about doing our induction party that night after our induction together and make it a big Dallas Cowboy party. So we haven't decided on that yet, but the conversation with Jerry lasted about an hour, and it was just cordial and, down to earth. And, he even thanked me because when he first came into town, he got ripped up pretty good. And I was one of the first to come out in his defense because I thought it should have been Bum Bryce, the previous owner's responsibility, to go tell Coach Landry that he's selling the team and he's bringing in a new owner, and a new owner wants to bring in a new coach because he was employed. Coach Landry was employed by Bum Bryce, but he laid that in Jerry Jones's lap, and it was no good way for Jerry to do that. And Jerry probably did it in the worst way possible anyway. So I told him, he knew I was one of the first, and we talked about that. And, so it was a great conversation. First time I ever had that kind of face-to-face. And he also told me about how much he appreciates, what I did during the draft back in 2016.
Great to hear those words from Jerry, and I'm thinking about the party because he'll probably pick up the tab for that. I remember what your party was like going into the Ring of Honor. I can only imagine what the Hall of Fame party is going to be like. But go back January 25th, you show up, you're thinking it's a real estate business deal. At any point on that day, did you think maybe this could happen, or was it a complete shock to you?
Complete shock. I didn't know how they're going to tell you if you got in or didn't get in. And because of COVID, I don't know if they're going to invite us to the Super Bowl and do it in a normal way that they normally do, or let the players know if they made it or not. No, I didn't think anything of that nature, especially with Roger included. And they talking real estate. To me, it was so logical that could be the deal, and I'm thinking, well, how they're going to fit me in. And then also, it's just recently the 45th anniversary of the Hail Mary catch. And so I thought maybe it had something to do with that, tying that into a real estate venture or something like that. So, no, they caught me totally off guard. So, Roger and I, what made us such a great combination out there, we had a telepathy with each other. We didn't have to speak, we could see each other and read each other and know what each other wanted us to do out there on the football field. But Roger, we had no connection walking into the Cowboys facility there, and he gave no indication of what I was about to walk into. So I was completely surprised when it all went down.
So you heard the knock on the door and Jerry tells you get up and go get the door, were you sitting closest to the door? Did you think that was odd? Like, why are you asking me to go answer the door? What the hell?
No, that was part of the deal. They put me in the right seat where I would be the one. It didn't look awkward that they would ask me to go open the door because I was the one closest to the door. And this was all planned, you know. And it's so funny that when you think about it now, but when that knock came, you know, it was, he told me to go answer the door. And man, that big man, he had a bright green sport coat on and a bright green and white tie. And big as that guy is, he's 6'8", 6'9", you know, Mr. Baker, and his head is about 6'4". So, you know, when he 6'4" of that.
You can say that now.
Oh yeah, I told him that. I told him, you know what I told him over the weekend? I said, what I should have done is kiss you. And he said, Drew, I'm glad you didn't do that. You know, that would have been kind of embarrassing. But no, we joke around about that. He's a great guy. And you know what else is so special about this guy? Guys, the class I'm going in with. Man, it's a legendary class. You know, you got 2 first ballot guys going in, Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson. You got the great Tom Flores going in, John Lynch, Calvin Johnson. Oh my God, I saw Calvin Johnson. I couldn't believe this guy was Calvin Johnson. You know, I said, you played wide receiver? You know, he's about 6'5", 200 and some pounds. Al Faneca with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just what a great class. And we all connected. We're all group texting each other, and we're going to be connected for life because we're going in this class together. So it's nice to go in with a bunch of guys that respect each other for what they've accomplished. I told Charles Woodson in a conference interview, I said, if you were playing when I was playing, I probably wouldn't have gotten into the Hall of Fame. So he appreciated that. So it's a great class and a great time. And now you get to say you're part of the class of 2021. And you know what this creates, guys? It creates immortality for you. You're always trying to create something that outlives you. After you're gone, it outlives you, and it has significance and meaning. A lot of people want to put their name on a building or in an arena or a stadium or a highway or something for that immortality. You know, I get to do it through the Pro Football Hall of Fame with my bust right there with those other guys in that room in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And that will be my immortality for sure.
Now, the question, Drew Pearson, Hall of Famer Drew Pearson, that bust, is it going to have your current hairstyle or the hairstyle you were wearing back in the day when you were playing?
There's not enough bronze.
You know, you know, we've already been measured for our bust. We did that last Saturday, and there's no question that the afro will be part of my bust.
Yes,
and,
sir.
All the fans are hoping that would be the case. And if you put me in there looking like I am now, no one would know that's Drew Pearson. But people know me from my days playing with the Cowboys with that afro and the hair hanging out the back of my helmet and that kind of thing back in the day. So yes, it'll be there with the bust, and it'll be the biggest bust in Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. The most bronze makes it the most expensive bust, and it's the one that waited the longest to get there. It's appropriate.
Right. Amen. So we had a good time with that. But the guy that actually makes the bus is from Texas. He's down in Houston, and he has done it a million busts, and he does a great job. And I got a feeling he'll depict it the way it's supposed to be.
You don't have to stick your face in any kind of jelly or anything like that. He just kind of comes out of it.
No, he just does it from photographs and measurements. They measure everything: your cheekbones, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, everything. They measure everything: your ears, the length of your ears, and everything: your lips, your mouth. It's a process that they go through, and he just goes around. He does it measuring your face and everything, and he calls out the number, and somebody's there writing everything down, and he goes from there along with a picture and comes up with pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, pretty good.
That's the basic tools. Well, when you're working with greatness, how can you screw it up? You know what I mean? Drew Pearson,
yeah, well,
Hall of Famer.
I told him just to make me look cute, man. Don't make me look ugly, man.
Well, that's why they go get the best.
I want
Sometimes
that
you got to
forever.
go.
That's forever.
You got to go above and beyond. Once again, long earned, well deserved. Drew Pearson, Hall of Famer, Dallas
Thank you.
Cowboy class of
Thank you
2021.
very much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. You got it, guys. Thanks for having the original number 88 Hall of Famer 2021.
Hall of
Was
Famer.
it? Yes, sir.
What's
Thank
up?
you, guys.
There is something so incredibly satisfying to see someone finally attain what has been so obviously and overtly desired. I mean, he has wanted this. He's been open about how he wanted to be in there. He felt he deserved it. And the crushing and very public defeat that he went through last year to finally see a guy get it. It's one of those things that you just can't help but smile whenever you think about it. He's in. He did it.
Having known Drew as long as I have, and in the conversations we've had about this, the importance of it, because I asked him a long time ago, it's like, why do you need that validation? You know what you did. And he was like, because everybody I talk to will say, how come you're not in? How come you're not in? How can you be the only guy on the all-decade team from the 70s not in? And you hear that, and then you start to wonder, well, what did I do? Why not me? Why not me? And it is important because he wants that immortality. And to see him finally get there, this kind of long wait, I've been a big proponent. I've said this a million times. It's like a Pete Rose or some of these others. Let them in the Hall of Fame while they're alive. Let them enjoy the moment while they are living. And I'm glad that Drew Pearson will have that opportunity and that honor.
It's certainly exciting. I want to thank him and congratulate him once again. And I think it's time to get to work on some tickets to that party. We'll just leave it at that.
It's done.
When we come back, the San Antonio Spurs face a Segababa. What did we learn last night? Dejounte becoming a man out there, just everything you need. And I'll tell you what, that three to kind of close things down, that has some long-standing and long-lasting effects. It really does. The two best players made the iciest plays to close things out. We'll look at the Spurs. We're talking injuries with Dr. David Espinoza at 6. Game night San Antonio with Jill Jelnick and you. Hold on tight. Spurs Talk next year on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Injuries do happen. So if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Now, not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinoza, who's going to be on the show later, he treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, and he does concussion baseline testing. There is telemedicine services available through OrthoConnect. No reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, you need to know and go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Start online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Getting ready for the hangover without the headache. The Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson. Saturday mornings 9 to 11. 1250 ESPN San Antonio. 94.5 FM. And on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If your water tastes bad or has an odd smell, you need to call Alamo Water Softeners, because in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. When you call Alamo Water Softeners, they'll come to your home, give you a free estimate, and test your water. Right now, save $300 on select water care water softeners from Alamo Water Softeners, the best value for the highest quality water treatment. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com and discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Roop Hub. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Roop Hub, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Roop.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like by a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. A Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 6677 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 6677. Enjoy.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
Every player matters, and finding the right person can make all of the difference. After Dwight Howard chose Orlando over New Jersey, the Nets turned their sights to Portland and completed a trade for small forward Gerald Williams. The trade included sending Mamadou Core, Sean Williams, and a first-round pick to Portland. That first-round pick, the 6th overall, turned into Damian Lillard. Lillard went on to win the Rookie of the Year and is a 5-time NBA All-Star.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
As the basketball season rolls along, teams are already identifying the missing pieces they need to make a championship run. If your business needs some fresh new talent, LinkedIn Jobs can help. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Got Tech basketball tonight. West Virginia. 7 o'clock will get you ready. So far, so good. This game's getting pulled pretty quick. We're going to talk Spurs in a bit, but this is a story that came out today. Now, certainly this is kind of the ongoing kind of thread when we talk baseball. And by the way, they have come to some agreement as to how they're going to play next season. And there's some other things to still hammer out. They're going to have 7-inning doubleheaders. Extra innings, you still get that guy on second base. They're not going to be the universal DH yet, though that continues to be an effort to be made. But they got that hammered out. Let's just figure out if they can get everybody paid. But in the meantime, let's talk baseball for what it really is, this ongoing lineage of cheating.
Well,
can we say that? I mean, it's trickeration and cheating and everything that you can possibly do to hide from stuff like that. And when it comes to light, you make a big deal about it and move on quickly. Nothing to see here, or you have to go away for a little while, but you can come back and play. Just don't get caught again. Well, what happens if Major League Baseball itself is affecting the game, cheating, juicing the balls?
Well,
there's an interesting article in Sports Illustrated about this today.
If you're Manfred and say you've got a team that might be using technology and trash cans, you might call that cheating. What they're doing, since they own Rawlings, who makes the baseball, that's not cheating. That's not juicing. That's innovative. That's trying to make the game a little bit better, right? Is that the angle that baseball, top secret, nobody trusts each other? We're not really telling you that we're doing it wrong, but if you steal our baseballs and peel them apart and start measuring stuff, you realize that the baseballs aren't all the same. Uneven
very
playing
different.
field. Yeah.
They're very different from year to year. Starting in 2017, real in-depth studies began looking at the baseballs because there was a sudden acceleration in the number of home runs. Balls were going further, yet PDs were being tested for. It didn't seem to be as juicy as it had been in the 90s, but there's something going on. Well, there was what I don't think a lot of people realize, and you just said it, Major League Baseball owns a percentage of the ball manufacturer Rawlings.
Mm-hmm.
They own the company. So they have the ability to manipulate the ball and really have the ability to do that without telling anyone. They don't, it's their company. Maybe Rawlings up there on their own wouldn't say anything, but they can change the ball. And players over the last several years, a lot during the 20 season, were noticing that some days balls were just flying further than others. And some days balls that were warning track balls from a batter typically ended up 20 feet further down. And you couldn't tell by the ball because it weighed the same. Well, lots of studies showed that the internal part of the ball has changed by the direction of Major League Baseball in a variety of different ways. The way it's seamed has changed. The way it's aged or dried has changed, changing the way the ball remains round. Lots of things have happened, and it affects the game.
And the changes are about the flight of the baseball to increase the flight, although they have some that can decrease the flight, and you never know which ball you're going to get when you show up to the park. A few years ago, they did something with the laces, and Justin Verlander and other pitchers went nuts going, dude, I can touch a baseball and tell you if there's something wrong with it. They've touched so many of them. They know the feel of exactly what it's supposed to be. What they've done now is apparently change the innards. So when you touch it, you don't know what you have inside. And again, it creates an uneven playing field. It's supposed to generate more offense, which is something that Manfred has said many times that he wants. He wants high-scoring games. He wants home runs. That's what the fans want. Chicks dig the long ball. Remember that campaign? It's true. You know, nobody wants to watch a 1-0 pitcher's duel anymore. You want to see the runs getting scored. So now they're manipulating the baseballs. Yet, you know, my Astros will get in a little bit of trouble for banging a trash can for basically trying to accomplish the same goal that Manfred has.
I have zero concern about the ball as long as it's the same ball for the entire season. If there's different balls and they do different things according to the delivery of balls that I got today, I have a problem. That's when we start having an issue. I don't care whether baseball is manipulating it to go faster or slower, to fly further or not, with laces that allow it to grab the air so that curveball curves just a little bit more. I appreciate that. That's fine. But when I read that there are actually two kinds of baseballs floating around the major leagues during the 2020s, one that had a little bit more of a drag, it didn't quite clear, and another that flew a little bit further, then I start to have some questions. That's when people go, wait a minute, so who decides who gets what ball and when? That's when you start getting very, very secretive. And the article from SI, which is so in-depth into that, kind of opens the door to, once again, the idea of what baseball does to, either maintain relevance. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think too many of us care. Do you care? Does it bother you that the ball has changed in any manner, whether it's slowed it up or sped it up?
I honestly, no.
No.
And I say that just like I thought it was ridiculous that Tom Brady got suspended for deflating footballs. I mean, and all he was doing was trying to create a competitive advantage, which in essence is kind of what the Major League
all he
Baseball
was
doing
was
here.
trying to create a competitive advantage.
Well, that's what he. I mean, it's a comfort thing. It's how he likes it. It's a competitive advantage, and that's what the NFL said. It went outside of their guidelines. What are the guidelines for making the baseball? And do the players think it's one thing, and baseball is turning in something different? Where it really, the baseball geeks that are all into the weeds with the numbers and the stats, and those guys, they'll be up in arms because this guy hit 29 home runs when he's normally a 15 home run guy, kind of thing. But the gambling aspect of it, and then the fairness for your team. You want all the big market teams in there. So are the baseballs in New York designed to fly a little bit more than, maybe in Cincinnati, where if Cincinnati made the World Series, it wouldn't be a highly rated television series. You're trying to get the Dodgers and the Yankees in there. Do they get the high flying baseballs? That becomes the question. And, and then of course, if you're gambling, well, which balls are they getting today? Because that's going to, decide how I'm going to place my bets.
It's so intrinsic in baseball that I'm surprised that we even talk about it. Of course, things outside the rule book are going to be continually manipulated to the edge of the rules. That's what baseball is. And the sooner, I guess, I accept it, then we'll move on. I think this is a great story about how it was behind the scenes in baseball actually doing it. And I was trying to think of what other sports could even begin to even try this. And there's really not. I mean, football, you got a player depressurizing the standard ball. You got kickers that take the standard ball and make it round so it flies better, but that was kind of accepted, and every kicker had their own ball, and everybody had just kind of agreed that's cool until they said it wasn't. But that was fun because they were all doing
quarterback
it.
manipulates the football in some way or another. I mean, whether they're sanding it down, trying to get it less slick. I mean, you look at the gloves now with all the stickiness that are on there. I mean, there's lots of different things that people in every sport do
But the league's not changing it. It's individual players finely tuning the actual implement, the tool. Tennis, I'm sure, has changed because of just, I guess, materials. I got to imagine you're using a better ball than you were. And golf as well.
Golf, yeah.
But at least golf has rules regarding the ball. There are balls that you can play with that don't have the number of dimples or have too many dimples or whatever the case may be that make it illegal to play with in tour play. But but golf has acknowledged that these are balls that are fun to play with, but they're not really legal. Well, in baseball, that's akin to going, here, go play with this one and see how you like it. See how that one carries for you. We're not going to tell you whether it's legal or not until we watch the rest of the league play with it. And then if we like it, everybody gets to play with it. I don't like that.
And again, the fact that Major League Baseball owns the company that makes the baseballs, that, and there's no transparency there. There is so much distrust in baseball from every side. Nobody trusts anybody in there, and that is the dirtiest sport that we've ever had. I mean, but it's open to the different ways that you can try to gain some upper hand, and that's what everybody's trying. Ultimately, you're trying to win the games, but it's just that sport. If I hear cheating in baseball, I'm never surprised. Well,
it's not an indictment. It is the game, and once you accept the fact that it is the game, that we are going to try to manipulate the edges and to the edge of every rule all the time, because we got a lot of time to think about it. It's just going to be ongoing. And then you hear that baseball is literally doing it to themselves behind the cloak and dagger of a Rawlings company that they have bought into and are changing the jelly on the inside of the ball. They're lightening up the inside and heavying up the outside. You don't know the difference, but one flies 20 feet further, and the players don't know. Well, again, I don't care. I just want it to be the same ball all the time. Whether it flies further, that's great. And if it doesn't, fine, pitchers will be happy. But either way, that's the game. When I hear there's two flights going around, there's no sport that can even begin that. Now, I'm not a hockey fan or a hockey understander. The pucks changed. I'm sure they have heavier and lighter pucks for like practice and things like that. But has the basic science behind a hockey puck changed any more than for going from wood to rubber?
Yeah. It went from wood to rubber, and they freeze it. The size of it's all different. The sticks have certainly changed, and the curvature on your sticks. But from what I know, it's pretty much still exactly the same as it has been. Footballs, we've seen footballs change over the years, and the different kinds of footballs that are out there. But in the NFL, from stripes to no stripes, and the slickness of it, but they're all manufactured the exact same way, or at least we think they are. Remember a couple years ago, was it more than a couple years ago? Remember, you know this, you're the basketball guy, when the NBA came out with that new ball that everybody hated because it was cutting up their hands.
The synthetic ball of 06.
But everybody had the same one.
Yeah, it was. Everybody had the same one, and they all had bloody hands. It was ripping the skin off people's fingers after a couple of months of use. But like you said, it was an attempt to kind of get away from using leather and go synthetic and all that kind of stuff. And it was forced on the league, and they all took it. And at first, it's pretty cool. A very grippy ball till what was actually making the grip cause was blood. It was actually making the ball stick to your hand from the blood seeping from your fingers. So only baseball would even endeavor to do something like this because it is so absolutely endemic in the sport. Of course they're doctoring the ball. I don't know why we even question it. I don't know why they don't tell the players, though.
Well, I mean, but again, as a player, do you know which balls you're going to get when you show up? If you're the pitcher, if you're Verlander, you're going to want the one that won't fly as much, right?
Yes.
I mean, obviously, because who bitches the most about these are the pitchers, because, they're the ones that are getting paid on, can you keep that baseball in the yard? And if you find out that, you're going with a ball that's designed to fly farther as a pitcher, you're going to hate it. I'm surprised that in this litigious society that we live in, that the players union hasn't filed some sort of workman type lawsuit, labor type lawsuit to get the design of the ball and make sure it is on the up and up within the regulations that Major League Baseball has told us it is.
Just make it consistent, because literal livelihoods and careers hinge on this. There are guys that will end their careers either way. You add more velocity or speed to the ball because it's rounder, more guys can stay. If you're not a long ball hitter, you're gone. And if you're a pitcher who needs the little bit more seam and a little bit deader ball, that goes away and you're out. Yeah, I think there's something worthy of discussion. I know the NBA guys back then went to the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, because it was like an unsafe thing that they were being forced to use from the NBA. That changed pretty quickly. I wonder if they would actually do that. Interesting. Dr. David Espinosa is going to
hold on. Two days after the Super Bowl, that was a solid baseball segment for us, man.
Yeah, it's as good as we get, man. This is hot stove talk right here on the Blitz. They're going to be playing pretty soon. We're the home of your Texas Rangers. We're all in, although I won't get into the trade that happened last week. When we come back, the pink bikini dude. There's a story here that, gosh, we hope is true. That, gosh, given everything that he went through, we hope it's all true. We'll try to figure out, and maybe the lore is just enough. We're going to talk Spurs at 6:30 with Jill Jelnick. We're going to hang with you because you are on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, most of us don't think about our brakes until we need it to think about our brakes. Jason Minnick's here for newbrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your office, wherever you are. If you've got a busy work schedule, no problem. You just want to relax at the house, no worries there. New Brakes comes to you, and they'll repair your brakes while you do whatever it is you need to do. At New Brakes, they only fix brakes. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs without the normal upsells traditional repair shops love to give you once your car is up on the lift. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all their great 5-star reviews. If your brakes are squeaking or grinding, go to newbrakes.com, nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio at newbrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
You follow your friends on Facebook and Twitter, so shouldn't you follow us? After all, I thought we were friends, aren't we? Never get left out. Follow us on Facebook at ESPN San Antonio, Twitter at ESPN_SA, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
As a minimalist, paying less for insurance is more.
Nice place. Is your house a bubble?
It's a dome. I find corners unnecessary.
At Liberty Mutual, that's how we feel about overpaying for insurance.
But I do miss having shelves.
What would you put on them?
Nothing, obviously.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Distracted driving doesn't give second chances. To see her first steps, see him scoring the winning touchdown, marrying the one you love, or celebrating 25 years of joy.
I'm Thomas J. Henry. Today, distracted driving is the #1 cause of catastrophic auto collisions and the end of life's dreams. It's best to put the phone down until you arrive or pull off the road safely.
San Antonio, Texas.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Wendy's new classic chicken sandwich is now in the 2 for $5. And that's reason to celebrate. Try the new classic and then take your mouth on a victory lap with the iconic Dave's Single, the delicious spicy chicken sandwich, spicy or crispy 10-piece nuggets, or just get another classic chicken sandwich. Taste greatness today with Wendy's 2 for $5. We got you.
For a limited time, a la carte only. Price and participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrell Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrell, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
It is the Blitz. Welcome aboard. How's your Tuesday? You dug out your mucklucks and your winter parkas? Looks like a bomb cyclone's headed our direction. Did you see that? Looked like it might snow, possibly on Sunday or Monday. I'm in shorts. I was thinking about, going and catching some sun later.
Yeah,
South
well,
Texas.
you might want to. It's going to be a great weekend to go find a beach somewhere in Florida.
And and we have no football to enjoy as we have to hole up this weekend as that is done, though the season continues. We're going to talk a little bit about the disgruntled quarterbacks. It's hard being the highest paid player on your team and not having any access to the management. It's hard not being able to tell your general manager who you'd like to play with. This isn't the NBA, sir. This is professional football. You will do as told. We heard a little bit from Russell Wilson today, but let's talk about the streaker real quick. So the dude that I think that this whole thing with the streaking at the Super Bowl needs to be turned into a profit deal. But in the meantime, it turned into a profit deal for the guy. Evidently, now tell me the story as it's been retold, because there is some question as to its legitimacy.
Again, believe everything you read on the internet, right? All right. So there's a dude that posted on social media, met the Super Bowl streaker at Jay Alexander's while having lunch before leaving Tampa. He bet $50,000 on a prop bet at plus 750 that there would be a streaker at the Super Bowl. His buddy went out first as a diversion, so he didn't get caught as quickly as his friend. Cost him $1,000 to get out of jail, so he cleared $374,000 on the bet. No bleep. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. The guy in the picture, and it's clearly the day after the Super Bowl, and it certainly looks like the guy based on his tattoos, because I've seen more of him than I need to. So have you. But do you really buy the fact that he laid $50,000 on a prop bet? Clearly, it would have to be offshore, and then cashed in on it, knowing that he could get bailed out of jail for $1,000.
Well, I think we need a broad definition for what an offshore betting service might be, because we know it's nothing in the United States, one. So if you found a book of some sort to take that money, more power to him. Is he American? Do we know?
Don't know anything about
him. Came in to capitalize on that?
I don't know his name.
If you found a book that would take the $50,000 prop as to whether a streaker was there, and let's say that did exist, and he took a bud to create a diversion, a very Mission Impossible-esque idea, and he got himself on the field and ran around in that pink thing, and congratulations to him, made well over $300,000. This sounds like a Disney movie. I hope this is real. And I hope he was earning the money to save an orphanage.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that part. You're going too far. Again, though, what a great
Hollywood
story.
Gets a hold of it.
Well, and again, what would you do if you saw the line on the prop bet, and would there be a streaker, and you were going to the game, you had your tickets, and you knew that you could affect the outcome of that bet? You get your liquid encouragement in there, and you're hoping to and praying to God that somebody else does it so you don't have to run out there in that weird thong thing that you had on. But at some point you realize there's a lot of money laying on the line here. I got to go. I got to jump on the field and I got to go. Would you do it?
Yeah, I'd do it. Now, of course I would. Who wouldn't? Literally, who wouldn't go out and earn $360,000 for evading a couple of rent-a-cops? And that's really the question. How does this continue to happen? Do we just not really care? And if we really don't care, do like I said, make this into human dot races, man. Let's put our money on these different guys. Let's each get their own call. We'll have Kevin Harlan get the number one rated streaker. And, we could do that at the beginning of the third or, whatever it might be. But until then, how do they continue to get on the field? And if did get on the field, was the bet about anybody streaking or just about him? Because if it was just about that guy, I think I'd have taken his money. I think there's no way. But if it was anyone.
Well, again, if it's a prop bet with an offshore account, it's, what was it, plus 750 on there being a streaker at the game. So you put your $50,000 down. Now, if I took that $50,000 bet and I realized the guy that ran out on the field was the streaker, I ain't paying that bet. There's something in the fine print that says that can't happen.
You act like this would be on an up and up. You act like, the book that would accept a $50,000 prop bet on whether a streaker would run on the field would abide by the international code of bookmakers and not. I'm pretty sure.
You and me wouldn't put down $50,000 on a bet, maybe 50, but not 50,000. But there are people out there that have that kind of money that they could do that. I mean, hell, Mattress Mac put down over $3 million on Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl. So, I mean, there are guys out there. Every year we read about somebody in their ridiculous bets. Pat McAfee, $300,000 on the coin toss. They're playing with different kind of bank accounts than we have. So maybe for this guy, 50,000 was, all right, dude, let's do it.
If you told me right now that you would pay me the same odds that this guy got right now, I would round up $50,000 and sneak onto the field. Give me a year. It doesn't seem to be that hard. It happens legitimate. And this all it took was a ride or die buddy. Hey man, right now, strip off your shirt and jump over so you go left, I'm going right. If all that took, I can find somebody to do that. I can buy a pretty good smoke screen. But if you told me that is available, I wouldn't be the only one, man. Every dead ball, there'd be naked, bare-ass 50-year-old men rolling over the edge. Every dead ball, if that was a common thing. You're telling me it only costs $1,000 to get out. You're going to pay me $350,000. All I need to come up is $50K. And let me have the parameters. How many yards do I need to run? Do I need to do the Patrick Mahomes 500?
Well, maybe that's why he slid down at the 1 yard line. So he got caught in the field of play. Maybe there was something in the rules about getting caught in the field of play and not running out of the other end of the stadium.
I'll tell you, if this is a thing, it's going to be like lemmings, man. We're coming, and I'm one of them. If it's possible, especially in Tampa. Now in Minneapolis, maybe not, but in Tampa, I'm in.
If the odds makers realize you're involved, they're going to take this bet down. They won't take this bet anymore.
Take my money. You think you saw something pretty in a pink thong last year? $350K on the line. I'll pretty myself up. I'll slick up nice.
Oh God!
we will earn it.
You'd be the one guy that gets caught coming in while they're doing the search. Go, you don't look like a normal thong wearer, sir.
So that's another question I have. You need to implement some kind of thong presence figure outer. I mean, if you're going through all that's the tell. You can't sneak any metal in. So you just got to be able to check and see what's going on underneath what everybody's got on. And now sometimes that might not be for the purposes that they're there. But I mean, if a guy's walking around in a little banana hammock underneath his clothes, he's probably trying to get on the field.
I'm just leaving that one alone. I don't know how you check for that. And they ain't a security guard out there making enough money to do that kind of check.
I have stood with my hands above my head in the little payphone booth enough. Just dial it down a little bit. Doesn't have to go all the way through. Just go through the first layer of clothes. See what's going on there.
Yeah, if it goes through one layer, it's going through that other layer. Nobody needs that on their screen, my friend. Nobody.
Well, these are just have the TSA agent. Trust me, they've seen worse.
Have they?
Trust me, you've been to an airport. Yeah, they've seen worse. This is far different from a guy trying to sneak on a football field. I hope the story's true. Let's hope it's a Disney movie and he made a bunch of money to save an orphanage in his homeland. When we come back, let's talk some injuries. Dr. David Espinoza will join us. We'll look at hip flexors and turf toes as our weekly update with the docs from the Sports Institute over at TSAOG Orthopedics. We'll look at the disgruntled quarterbacks, and we'll have a Spurs prep as they get ready to take on Golden State tonight in a Segababa. Jill Jelnick will join us for that. So hang where you are. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. You know you want the peace of mind a security system offers because you want to protect your family and your home. The security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, all the other features, they're fantastic. It's easy to use and all in one app. Get a free smart home security system right now for as low as $29.95 a month. Free installation, no money down, no activation fee, and no payments for the first 6 months on select home security packages. Go learn more at bsgtexas.com/radio. I love the security system in my home. BSG installed the same system at my mom's house. Large, easy to use LCD screen, and the icons on the panel are the same as on the app. It's easy to use. Gives you that great peace of mind. Trust me, if my mother can use this, you can as well. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or the website bsgtexas.com/radio. That's bsgtexas.com/radio.
Show us your meat. On the grill. You could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday. If you have meat on your grill that you're proud of, take a picture of it and upload it to ESPNSA.com and you could win.
You gotta sear them first. It locks in the flavor.
1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. ESPNSA.com.
The spread of COVID-19 is still unchecked across the nation, and you need to keep your family safe. Make a new habit and check your temperatures twice a day, once before dinner and before leaving home in the morning. You can't afford to take chances, so use the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies, and it takes an accurate reading in seconds. It's the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Quick and easy to use. You can count on Exergen to keep your family safe 24 hours a day.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinoza treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
The excitement of Mardi Gras is now in South Texas. Grab your beads and celebrate this February at SeaWorld San Antonio. Feel that French Quarter spirit with live music, dancing, and costumes. And get a taste of New Orleans with Creole and Cajun food favorites. Indulge in the flavor and fun that only Mardi Gras can bring. Let the good times roll. February 6th through the 28th, only at SeaWorld. Reserve your visit today and keep the fun going year-round with a pass. Visit SeaWorldSanAntonio.com.
Gary is refinancing his home, so he shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting him up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision he'll never regret, unlike taking that gig in the testing lab at the deodorant company.
Raise your arm, please. Oh, man, I hate this job.
Pretty regrettable, Gary. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Okay, we've got Rick here, a veteran in the league who's gone 0-2 the past Valentine's Days. Do you think he can pull off a win this year?
I always like an underdog, Bob, but I'm not sure about this guy.
He's passing aisle 3, picks up a bag of wings. He dodges the produce section.
But will he pick up the heart-shaped box?
Heading toward the candy aisle. He's picking up speed. Oh, no, he chokes and heads straight to the checkout.
Unbelievable. This close to Valentine's Day.
Don't be a Rick. Make happy this Valentine's Day with a heart-shaped box of Russell Stover chocolates.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great-tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Any credit card can offer cash back, but only Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. It's like getting one of those birthday cards that's shaped like cash, so you already know there's cash inside before opening it. But in this case, it's stuffed with your first year cash back match, and you don't even have to send a thank you note. Cashback match. Only by Discover Card. Learn more at discover.com/match. Discover. Something brighter.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that.
Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
Okay, but can it help keep us asleep?
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during the Ultimate Sleep Number event, save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus special financing on all smart beds, only for a limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years, 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Peak Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. On sale now for just $5.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, earn double O-Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Hey, this is Tyron Smith, Dallas Cowboy. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio at 94.5 FM.
Where the pros play. KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes. Rob Thompson. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Welcome aboard. An hour of fun headed your direction. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. It is time to talk injuries as we do every Tuesday afternoon. Dr. David Espinoza joins us from the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Welcome aboard. Doc, how's your day going?
Not too bad. How about y'all?
Doing well, doing a lot better than, say, Patrick Mahomes coming off of a Super Bowl loss. Although he played incredible, having surgery apparently tomorrow on that turf toe. What kind of surgery fixes turf toe?
And what is turf toe to start with? I don't think the name signifies how difficult and painful this injury is.
Correct, absolutely. So basically, the injury is a strain of the capsule that surrounds your first metatarsal phalangeal joint of your toe, right, on your foot.
Big toe.
And so
big toe.
On the big toe, yes. So you can imagine, to throw, to run, to push off, even getting up from a chair, you're kind of putting that pressure on that toe to generate that force, that momentum forward. So what can happen is that you can actually tear what they call the volar plate down at the bottom, and basically kind of makes it an unstable joint. And so with the amount of demand that goes through that joint, typically it ends up getting repaired if it doesn't heal on its own. But obviously, with the demands that he was putting on it, kind of getting through the playoffs, they tried to rest him for those 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, but it was definitely something that was going to need to be fixed, going into the offseason.
He is Dr. David Espinoza joining us for our ESPN San Antonio injury update, always powered by the Sports Institute over at TSAOG Orthopedics. So has surgery always been an option for turf toe, or is this a new development?
It's an option, but sometimes, most of the time, it is able to heal on its own, but it definitely depends on the degree, right? The amount of damage through there, and then also the demand level, right? If I injured my toe, I'm probably not getting surgery on it, right? But if he's throwing 30 yards downfield, parallel to the ground, that's he needs a little bit more exertion through that toe.
All right, so and obviously, his feet are very, very important to the Kansas City Chiefs, and a lot of times, especially like basketball players, big guys, Yao Ming comes to mind. Foot issues can be forever and painful. Is this one of these kind of let's do surgery now? We've got to do everything we can to protect the feet of Patrick Mahomes, or is it just kind of an odd injury, get it fixed and not a worry, or could it be a problem that he has the rest of his career that could, in some way, shorten his career or change his game? I think about the knee injury with RG3, completely changed the way he had to play.
Right, and this isn't typically one of those. This is usually one that can heal, very well, especially given his age. And then again, it also kind of goes back to the extent of the damage that is actually in there. But he's young, he's healthy, he should heal very well from this. And then, he scrambles and sometimes up to those 500 yards, like in the Super Bowl. But he can also adjust how he plays. If he's obviously great at as a pocket passer, so it shouldn't alter his gameplay. Now, if this was something with like Lamar Jackson or somebody else that's definitely a runner, then you might see a little bit more of a difference. But this should not be a long-term type of issue for him.
Dr. David Espinoza joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Now, there's some other news coming out of the Dallas Cowboy training camp regarding their quarterback and surgery, and this one I think is a bit more concerning, at least for me. Dak Prescott had surgery on his ankle to clean up some previous issues, and that seems he's had a lot of time to have surgery on his ankle. Why now? And when you see clean up previous issues, what does that tell you?
So definitely, they're being fairly vague with that that comment there. But usually when you have that fracture dislocation of the ankle, it's not just the bones that are broken and damaged, right? There's ligament damage and tendon damage and everything, and so when they go in to stabilize the joint, it's typically the hardware and the screws and maybe some plates and stuff. So sometimes, and usually, if they're having difficulty with that hardware, they'll go in for a second surgery to take it out or take out some of the screws, because at this point the bone has healed, and so there's enough structure and stability within the joint. And so then they'll go in, take those out, and then kind of reassess.
So what do? Do you just put the drill in reverse?
Yep.
A little bit more complicated.
Oh, come on. I mean, you clean it up, you strengthen it. The Cowboys, or at least what the Dallas Morning News is reporting, they don't view this second surgery as a setback. So it was this part of the original game plan. You have the first surgery and then, get through Christmas and then have another surgery to do the cleanup and make it stronger. This isn't unusual with this kind of injury, having a second surgery?
Correct. This is typically kind of planned out. They do the initial stabilization type of surgery, and then later on, once that heals up, they're able to take out some of that hardware again and make sure everything else is looking good. So, this isn't too surprising given the amount of damage that he had to it, for sure.
Very interesting. Trevor Lawrence, the prospect that will be the number 1 draft pick we expect of this year's NFL draft, had surgery on a torn labrum on his non-throwing arm. When you hear that with anybody, even though it's his non-throwing arm, can they be predispositioned to, or predisposed to that type of injury? Would that grade you down, even though it's not his throwing arm and it's something to kind of clean up, if you're doing a full evaluation of a quarterback that he's already had one labrum torn?
Yeah, so it is something that he's young. He's going to heal very well from this, and the big part of it is the non-dominant arm, his non-throwing arm. Now, if it was his throwing arm, that's a much bigger concern. But that could, yes, to answer your question, it is possible that if he were to strain it or strain that shoulder or injure that shoulder, he could re-tear it. But with the strength and conditioning that he's going to go through once he gets to that next level in the NFL, all that rotator cuff strengthening and scapular stabilization exercises that they're going to put him through should really give some added support through that shoulder and protect that labrum for sure. So hopefully to prevent recurrence and re-injury and everything.
Dr. David Espinosa with us here on ESPN San Antonio. Let's shift to the Spurs. And LaMarcus Aldridge, dealing with a hip flexor, apparently had an injection today to hopefully help with the pain. Let's start with what is a hip flexor, because, when I first saw that he was out with a hip flexor, I was thinking back to the Tim Duncan days and plantar fasciitis. I see that and I think rest. Rudy Gay missed 1 game with hip flexor soreness. It's been a while now for LaMarcus Aldridge. What is a hip flexor and what kind of issues is LaMarcus actually dealing with?
Right. So a hip flexor is kind of an umbrella term for a couple of muscles that run right over the front part of the hip joint, and obviously help you flex that hip, right? So with basketball, obviously that's a pretty high demand type of muscle structure and tendon insertion that goes in there. So since he's been dealing with this for a little while, sometimes it is just the inflammation or a tendonitis or even a bursitis. So just inflammation of a bursa over the hip flexor or inflammation of the tendon. And so for that, a cortisone injection, typically knocks that out, right? Calms down the inflammation, helps with some pain. But if it's more of a tendinosis or like a strain of the muscle or the tendon, then it actually may be a different type of injection, potentially like a platelet-rich plasma or an orthobiologic type of injection to help with the healing. So that way, this hopefully doesn't become a long-term issue. So it kind of depends on what the imaging shows through it to really determine which injection might be the best route for him to go.
Would a biologic or the PLP, would that aid in pain management?
It could, yes. So by helping with some of the healing factors through the muscle and the tendon, that could then later calm down that pain. Yes.
He is Dr. David Espinosa. This has been your ESPN San Antonio injury update that is always powered to you by the Sports Institute over at TSAOG Orthopedics. Go check them out online at tsaog.com. Dr. Espinosa, thanks for the knowledge. Take care. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah, have a great one.
Hey, coming back, disgruntled quarterbacks rule the day, and could Russell Wilson have a star on his helmet? Heavy.com is purporting some numbers coming out of Las Vegas. Heavy.com is just putting what Vegas is already putting on the line. The most likely team in the NFL to acquire a Russell Wilson is the team in North Dallas. And
what
it's
will
not
get you
North
to
Texas.
click the website Heavy?
We'll talk disgruntled quarterback coming up next. And Russell's name was already floating around. He's mad at his team. Coming back, football talk very quickly, followed by Spurs talks. Game night San Antonio prepping for the Golden State Warriors gets going at 6:30. Always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom on a most appropriate day. It is National Pizza Day. Celebrate the right way. Head over to Mellow Mushroom before the game. Coming up, let's talk about Angry Backs here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Maybe it's not you that got arrested, but you get a phone call from a family member or friend that they're in jail. They need to get out fast. You know, the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, while it might sound good, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before you accept it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. Of course, they are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, AA Best Bail Bonds, license number 149. Call them 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com.
Game nights, the Blitz goes silver and black.
This is Dejounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. 30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Rupo. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Rupo, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Rupo.
Okay, we've got Rick here, a veteran in the league who's gone 0-2 the past Valentine's Days. Do you think he can pull off a win this year?
I always like an underdog, Bob, but I'm not sure about this guy.
He's passing aisle 3, picks up a bag of wings. He dodges the produce section.
But will he pick up the heart-shaped box?
Heading toward the candy aisle. He's picking up speed. Oh, no, he chokes and heads straight to the checkout.
Unbelievable. This close to Valentine's Day.
Don't be a Rick. Make happy this Valentine's Day with a heart-shaped box of Russell Stover chocolates.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
And here's a reason to really love Valentine's Day, our Sweethearts Costume Party. Get to Twin Peaks February 11th through the 14th to see our Valentine Sweethearts. The Twin Peaks girls are dressing up. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrell Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrell, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Okay, set it down over there and then go to Bay 5.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Need to keep going to finish.
Like Amir's warehouse. To expand capacity, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Gary is refinancing his home, so he shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at AmeriSave.com, setting him up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision he'll never regret, unlike taking that gig in the testing lab at the deodorant company.
Raise your arm, please. Oh, man, I hate this job.
Pretty regrettable, Gary. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at AmeriSave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. AmeriSave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to AmeriSave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit AmeriSave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys and mile-wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smoothbrook, Illinois.
You're on the Blitz. Here on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minnick. I'm Rob Thompson. You know, we've teamed up with Stevens Rubin, coming together to drive to end hunger. Pandemic is still in full swing. The holiday season has passed. That season of giving needs to be extended. We've got so many people around San Antonio that need your help. The San Antonio Food Bank is set up to, well, we're going to help 58,000 individuals a week, and we want to help. Go to ESPNSA.com. I want to thank Stevens Roofing for partnering with us. Let's do what we can. Every little bit helps. We're going to do some game night San Antonio in just a couple of minutes. Jill Jelnick from Sports Tonight in Yolo, Texas will join us for Mellow Mushrooms Game Night San Antonio. But in the meantime, so Dak Prescott is a fan for a very brief shining moment of the Washington football team, according to Twitter. He liked them. Now, you don't get to hear from quarterbacks anymore. Yeah, you don't get to hear from them actually speak. You have to infer from the hieroglyphics that are the social media world. And what is that smoke signal telling us? That for a brief shining moment, Dak Prescott, who previously had not liked WFT, then briefly did, and that flirtation ended, and then he disliked or unliked the Washington football team.
He followed and he unfollowed. All right. Okay. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised that he's not already following them. You would think that he would be. But then, you know, I think you realize if you follow that football team, you get viruses and bad things happen to your phone. So you quickly unfollow. I mean, that's what I would do. But I don't know. I mean, the IG detective hat says nothing to see here. Move along. You follow Washington football team on Twitter and that you're draining your bank account and you get sick. Well, in his case, it might increase his bank account because following the Cowboys hasn't done it for him. Absolutely true. And I find it odd that if you're in the league, I'd be following everybody. You know, I don't know why it's a big deal that he's either following or not following. I would think it's kind of more odd that he's not. Well, I think it's a big deal because again, we're all Instagram detectives and Twitter police and trying to figure all that stuff out. It's the fact that he followed him during the drama that he was left out of the Cowboys hype video. It's that part too. And so, okay. Oh, you left me out? I'm going to follow football team. Yeah, WFT or WTF. Both. In every sense of the word. It's absolute. So, okay, so we have to play in the other social media slight. That was the Dallas Cowboys supposedly aimed at Dak when they released a 34-second highlight video, which was all the highlights they could find of 2021. And it didn't include Dak Prescott at all, though there was a recipient of at least one of his passes. We just didn't get to see him throw it. But he wasn't included in, and anger for sure, I guess, from his fans. I'm not sure if I'm Dak Prescott, I care that much. But then again, I'm not the once and future quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. Is that enough to want to like the Washington football team? Well, but again, he unliked them quickly. I mean, he realized his mistake, and I don't know. I mean, again, it's one thing like Deshaun Watson completely scrubs himself at the Houston Texans. All right, that sends a message. liking and then unliking, and the fact that there are people out there like RJ Ochoa who pay attention to that stuff. I don't know. Getting left out of the hype video, his brother responds to it. You know, the Cowboys and the guy that put together the video, or at least the guy that's in charge of that department, is taking all the arrows for this, said it was an oversight and mistake. And, you know, I promise you, Dak Prescott will be in every hype video for the rest of time for the Dallas Cowboys, unless, of course, he's not the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and say he gets traded in, you know, some weird blockbuster trade that is being rumored about, according to some weird website I'd never heard of.
Now, there's rumors floating around that Russell Wilson is now unhappy in Seattle. He spoke kind of to Dan Patrick. He alluded to the fact that he would like to have some control and certainly would like to be protected a little bit better than he has in the past.
Started getting hit.
Well, you know, it's such is life when you're a guy like him. Now, I understand that, you know, there's really two parts to this. One, I continue to be amazed that general managers don't have better relationships with the most valuable employee of their team. That's so not basketball. In basketball, you love on your star, you care for them, you take them little cakes late at night and knock on their door and ask them how they're doing. You do things to make sure they know they're special in your eyes. I can't imagine if you don't have Russell Wilson, you're not talking to him. But evidently, that is more common in the league than not, for a lot of reasons. And I can understand you don't want to get personal with a guy you're going to have to deal with, money and all that. But still, these guys now are starting to understand their value to the team and are exercising this will. If you're not a friendly, outgoing GM, you might want to start becoming one, because if you got a quarterback that you're not talking with, they might want to leave.
Well, and again, I go back to when we had Robert Griffin III on the show a couple of weeks ago, and you know, we talked about, he told us, man, quarterbacks, you had no idea what was going on. You found out just like everybody else. So, you know, I mean, talking to RG3, he wasn't surprised that Deshaun found out that Hop got traded on Twitter. You know, when he was the star quarterback in Washington, they didn't consult him on anything they were doing. And you wonder how much that should be there. I think Russell Wilson, and he's a smart guy. I almost wonder if Russ made a little mistake today while talking about, yeah, I wish I had more control. I wish I had more input. I wish I wasn't hit 500 times. I wish I wasn't sacked much, because don't you realize every one of his offensive lines is a little pissed at Russ today for speaking out about them like that?
I'm getting a little tired of quarterbacks asking for every penny you can squeeze from this rock. You know, I want everything you got. I better be the highest paid player when this is all done. And then a couple years later start bitching that he's not being protected and they don't have any offensive linemen to block for him. And I'm having to throw to guys that nobody knows. Well, you'd have guys we could put in front of you that everybody would recognize and help you if you took less money. This is pretty typical. You pay a guy through the nose, then a couple years later, when you can no longer afford those guys that made him get all famous and amass the yards that got him paid. That sounds like Russell Wilson now. Like, I'm tired of not being consulted. Dude, we don't have any money. What are you talking about? I got nothing to spend. It's all going to one check.
Yeah. I mean, look, quarterbacks need their own salary cap. You know, so you can afford to get there. I think that Kansas City Chiefs found out what the Cowboys knew all year. You need to somehow come up with 7 offensive linemen. You got to have 7 starting offensive linemen so that when your offensive linemen get hurt, you've got legitimate NFL caliber offensive linemen to play in the game. Because Mahomes, he found out real quick how important a starting offensive lineman is. And somewhere Ben DiNucci is laughing, going, yeah, now you know what I felt like. Andy Dalton, yeah, now you know what I felt like.
Well, Russell might get to feel the same thing. According to what's the name of this sports book that also evidently will take a wager on whether you can get on the field half naked, sportsbetting.ag. And .ag
what's it called?
means all gone. Sportsbetting.ag has laid plus 600 odds in the Cowboys striking a blockbuster deal to land a Russell Wilson. This is everything we just talked about, from the liking of the Washington football team to Russell talking today to the trade. This all happened in 12 hours. This went from a fat-fingered tweet or an accidental like from Dak Prescott, and 12 hours later, Russell Wilson's the next quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the NFL offseason at its finest. That's why this is the biggest sport in the world, because we just talked about that. We do have a lot to talk about with those San Antonio Spurs. It's a Sega Baba. Second game of a back-to-back. They get the Golden State Warriors tonight, minus a Derek White, but plus a nice win streak. Let's talk about what's going to happen tonight and look back to last night with Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight in Yolo, Texas, as Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, comes up next here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Show us your meat. On the grill. Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
The healthiest patients in San Antonio are at the Institute for Functional Health. I'm Dr. Torres, and we help folks get off medications, feel better, look better, and become undeniably healthy. You've struggled with the same health concerns for a long time. It's frustrating, depressing, and nothing has worked. The good news is, at the Institute for Functional Health, we know everyone is unique, and medicine is never a one-size-fits-all solution. That's why we order specific labs to uncover the root cause of your symptoms. Your blood gives us all the answers, and we develop a doctor-supervised game plan that is specifically designed for you. Over the last decade, we have helped thousands of individuals look and feel years younger. All of us at the Institute for Functional Health are proud to say we have the healthiest patients in San Antonio, and we will help you become part of that club. See for yourself at iffhealth.com and call to schedule your complimentary consultation at 468-1891. 468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. 468-1891.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Doing payroll is no longer a headache for our customer, Jeff.
I've used various payroll providers in the past, and none can hold a candle to Patriot Software. Their software is ridiculously easy to use. The support staff is knowledgeable and courteous. I am very excited that Patriot Software files my tax forms for me, not just providing the forms like other payroll companies do. As a business owner, managing payroll has been a long-time headache that I no longer struggle with, thanks to Patriot Software. I definitely rate your company 5 out of 5 stars.
Go to PatriotSoftware.com to get your payroll pricing for up to 100 employees. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is Dejounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
What can you say about your perimeter defense tonight? How much has that improved since the start of the season?
Significantly. I think that we're winning the battle. As far as coaches go, every team is a battle as far as making them understand that defense is what gets you to where you want to go, because you're going to have nights where it's not going to fall, and defense will keep you in a ball game. And I believe that they're beginning to believe that. And although we did make mistakes, it's a game of mistakes. I think overall, their attention to detail is getting better and better.
That was Greg Popovich post-game, the question posed by our very own Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight in Yolo, Texas. Game Night San Antonio is always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Let's get started. He's Jason Minix. Of course, she is Jill. Now we get Derek White back, and it's funny how perimeter defense improves, isn't it?
It is funny how that works, right? You get him back in the lineup, he's running around. He still looked like not entirely 100% Derek White, what we're used to from last year, but he looks better. And even Coach Pop admitted that as well, that he's still getting his rhythm, but he's progressing better. Hey, I mean, Warriors, tough team, and 32 from Steph Curry. It's not like, yes, it wasn't 57, but Steph Curry, 32 points, we will take it. Could have been a lot worse.
You will. And again, you go back to Derek White. His defense was good. His shot's not there yet, but we know that it come. No Derek White tonight, though, in the second night of the back-to-back with the Golden State Warriors. But Dejounte, that was a Dejounte game. That was his game. I mean, his defense, the big threes, dude stealing everything left and right. I mean, he's taking the little soaps out of the hotel. He got it all last night. It was a Dejounte Murray kind of game.
Even DeMar DeRozan said after the game that he's not inviting Dejounte to his house because he's going to steal something, he feels like. It was a great dad joke. It was 100% dad joke from DeMar DeRozan. But yes, don't you love that? Isn't that great? And DeMar usually after in post-game pressers, very even tone, not very rarely will you get a joke. I thought that was that summed it up pretty well.
8 steals. 8. That is the likes of the domination. If for you to steal the ball from 8 times from 3 different dudes, it is the level of that's expert level +1. You just don't see that very often. And it was in the open. It was jumping pass lanes. It was everything that Dejounte was 3 years ago. It's everything that we have saw him do. And then he's added the offense and hitting that 3, which, by the way, Dejounte is so long that when you watch his form, it's pretty, isn't it? When it is on and he is feeling it, there was a nice little floater that he hit as well. It's a pretty game to watch. But I think the key for Dejounte right now is, and we heard Pop talk about it, is don't float, man. The more aggressive you are, the better things that happen. Take that reach. Be a little bit more aggressive. Don't be afraid of that foul, but play defense without fouling. And the way that he's getting the steals like that, that's the equivalent of a shutdown corner. It takes away half the court when you've got a guy who cannot get by his defender.
And the only problem with what you just said there, Rob, is that's what we saw 3 years ago. I mean, what we saw last night from Dejounte is what I thought we were going to see from Dejounte this entire time. I know there was the injury and then coming back from it. Last year was kind of a weird season. And, this year you get some good games and then other games where it's, we didn't even talk about it at all as being a factor going into the game last night. And he should be. Pop last night post game on Dejounte.
He's, he's a guy that he has the ability to do that on an even more consistent basis. And he wants to be pushed, and we're pushing him. So his aggressiveness tonight was great.
Is he a film rat? Do you see him in the film room a lot?
No. I wouldn't call him a film rat.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's like but even Pop said he's got the ability to do that consistently. So why don't we get it consistently from Dejounte Murray?
Isn't that the $100,000 question, Jill?
$100,000 question, yes. He's still maturing as a point guard. He's still maturing as a ball handler. Yes, that defensive prowess, that aggression has been there. That's why he's been so good, and he's at this level, his defense. He was known for it in college, but now he's taking on a larger role. Each year he's taking on a larger role as a ball handler and maturing into that point guard the Spurs need him to be. Pop's right. He needs that consistency. Wouldn't that be great to get it every single night? But then again, don't we pose the same question with DeMar DeRozan? We said, this is going to be DeMar DeRozan's game last night. We said, this is going to be his. We need his. And sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. He still is that star on this Spurs team. But you're right. How come we can't get that every single night from these guys? Well, they're also human. I would argue that as well.
Absolutely true. And DeMar, considering what he has done over the last several games, maintained his leadership. Watching him just step to the line calmly and just ice that game, just put it to bed, no questions asked, 4 straight free throws, bam, 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 let's go home. That too much is made of the missed winners and not made of that, because that 4th free throw was awfully hard It was, and that first free throw was awfully hard given the circumstances because there was a lid on the basket for the Spurs for a lot of the fourth quarter, and he managed to step up and take that. So certainly his part on the Spurs, his role is defined and very available, and it's there. With every passing moment of LaMarcus's absence, this is something that we talked about. The moment we saw that he was hurt, is it was going to allow the Spurs to play that scrappy, steal-intensive, defensive type of game because they'll have 5 defenders on the court all the time with Jakob Poeltl out there. And we saw it again last night, and Jakob continuing to grow into that role. That is not quite what he expected, nor is it, I think, what Pop thought he would have at the beginning of the year, but one that is very effective on the defensive end and some opportunistic buckets on the offensive side as well.
You see Jakob getting more and more comfortable. He seemed very stiff the first couple weeks of the season. The first 10 games, he only had 3 blocks total in that span.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're seeing him get more rebounds. You're seeing him protect that rim at an elite level. And now he's averaging 2 blocks per game in the last 14 appearances. So you see him getting more comfortable with his positioning. And I also think that has to do with more reps and time while LaMarcus Aldridge is out.
And obviously LaMarcus Aldridge isn't coming back anytime soon. At least, as they, after tonight's game with Golden State, they have the official rodeo road trip. Greg Popovich pregame gave us an update on LaMarcus Aldridge.
Mm-hmm.
And was taken care of by the doc. You know what doc does to him, which includes a shot of sort. And he'll probably, take 4 or 5 days, just recovering and rehabbing and all that thing, and then we'll see where he's at.
So he got the cortisone shot today, huh?
Either the cortisone or, as we talked with the Dr. Espinosa, it could be PLP or some sort of organic to help the healing process in that torn muscle. Either way, his absence hasn't been felt, at least not in the last several games. The rebounding is fine. The assists maintain. The steals, the turnovers are still right around 10. We're not, missing his part of the offense. And more importantly, we're a much more mobile team. Now, Jakob is important, and I certainly I'm not trying to vault him into a better position than what LaMarcus can offer. But what it has done, certainly, is given the opportunity for Derek White to go out and miss 10 shots. You know what I mean? There are more shots to be had, and while Derek rounds into form, he has more opportunities to do that, and the Spurs play better defense to keep themselves in it.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I think we talked about going into the game yesterday, Jakob's role, him needing to step up. We also talked about Drew Eubanks, who got a lot of minutes last time, was in that rotation. The bench was not lights out last night. They weren't fantastic, struggled making their shots, but it was a night where the starters were. They were hot. Dejounte Murray was making his shots. DeMar DeRozan was getting to the rim. So it was a balanced effort in the sense that they didn't have to rely too heavily on that bench. But you're right, circling back to Jakob, I think he looked like, especially with a lot of their offensive plays, he looked like a player that was in control, that was also more confident. I think that's another part of his game that is starting to come, is his confidence. And you see that. You see that at the now making free throws. You see that with his shots. You see that with his blocking.
Jill, as they get ready to play the second night of the back-to-back, and last night for game night San Antonio, you joined us from the arena. Today you're at home. So you were at the AT&T Center last night, and you weren't alone at the AT&T Center. There were some fans there, some employees of Spurs Sports and Entertainment that, apparently were testing the safety protocols because word is, according to a letter sent to season ticket holders at the end of the rodeo road trip, late February, early March, they want to go with fans. I don't know how many people were actually in the building because the official attendance still says not yet counted. So I don't know how many were actually quote unquote fans last night, but it was nice to see people on TV. Could you tell a difference with the hundreds, 150, whatever was in there? Could you tell a difference inside the arena about having fans in there? Anything different? Because you've been there when it was just you, the players, and the bats.
That's right. Yeah, the first was that Lakers week when they hosted the Lakers for those 2 games to kick off the new year. not a single soul in there besides me, a couple other media members, and that was it. I'm going to say little under 100. There weren't too many people in the, they were in the section across from the bench, but obviously spread out, very spaced. It could have been maybe ownership piece as well. I'm not entirely sure where exactly the tickets came from, but did they make an impact? No. Did it feel good that there were people in there? Yes, of course, yes.
When we come back, we'll look at starting lineups. We expect to have Lonnie back. He is not on the injured list. Derek White will be out due to recovery. Let's look at the starting lineups and forward to the Sekababa coming up tonight as the Spurs take on the Golden State Warriors. You're on Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Hey, we're both working toward a common goal. Quitting time! This is San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
If your water tastes bad or has an odd smell, you need to call Alamo Water Softeners, because in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. When you call Alamo Water Softeners, they'll come to your home, give you a free estimate, and test your water. Right now, save $300 on select water care water softeners from Alamo Water Softeners, the best value for the highest quality water treatment. Go to alamowatersofteners.com and discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. That's alamowatersofteners.com. Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it happens. Get out of jail fast by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. Call AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans and are open 24/7. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
O'Reilly. Need new wiper blades? Not sure which ones to buy? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. We'll show you options for your specific car and even install them for free. Right now, save $10 per pair on Bosch Focus wiper blades, plus earn double O Rewards points. There's no better time to replace your wiper blades. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Okay, class, let's bump it up tonight.
Come on, Limu, keep pedaling. We got to build our endurance to let more people know that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Pick up the pace, bird legs.
Hey, don't talk to Limu like that.
I'm not, I'm talking to you.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
Beachcombing, baking cookies, learning French. Aren't these what you'd rather be doing than thinking about your Medicare prescriptions? Well, Walgreens is here to help you get back to it with convenient refill and pickup options, expert pharmacists to answer all your questions, and Medicare copays as low as $0. Zero. Which is also the number of cares in the world you'll have as you stroll the beach, eating cookies and speaking French. Oh la la. Walgreens.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans where Walgreens is a preferred pharmacy.
When it comes to getting work done on your property, get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota compact construction equipment, like excavators, skid loaders, and track loaders. At Ewald Kubota, we have all the equipment you need, whether you're buying or renting. And we know you need the reliable, dependable equipment Kubota is known for. Right now, all new rental customers get 10% off their first rental. This is our way of saying welcome to your neighborhood Ewald Kubota dealership. For more information, visit ewaldkubota.com.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is Dejounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
Celebrate National Pizza Day the right way. Head over to Mellow Mushroom as they bring you Game Night San Antonio. Yeah, it's a celebratory Tuesday. I think every day is Pizza Day, right? She is Jill Jelinek of Sports Tonight in Yolo, Texas. Which, by the way, I watched you decorating some, I guess, cupcakes in Seguin.
Yeah. Rough life, huh? Rough job.
Difficult
yeah.
gig. I'm glad I would keep your day job. They look lovely, but I would just want to keep that there. He is Jason Minix. He doesn't care what the icing looks like. He just wants to make sure it's buttercream. Okay, the Spurs taking on the Golden State Warriors tonight. There will be no Derek White, and we do expect Lonnie Walker back. Who fills the Derek White absence? Will we see Devin Vassell, or will Lonnie Walker step in, or will he go back and play with that second unit who needs a little bit of offense, quite frankly?
Pop confirmed today on his presser that Lonnie will be coming off the bench, and he'll also be on a minutes restriction. So you can count on Lonnie being a part of that second unit. So that does ask the question, who's going to take over in that and fill Derek White's spot from last night, because he's out. And even though Devin Vassell jumps out at me right away, he's been tacking on more and more minutes, doing well, did well last night, a couple of threes, 10 points. I'm actually going to go with Patty Mills.
Really?
Only because they need to make sure that Steph Curry doesn't get hot right away out of the gates. And I thought Patty Mills, combination of Patty Mills, Derek White, Dejounte Murray did a fantastic job trying to slow him down as much as possible. Go ahead.
It's interesting when you think about Steph Curry last night, looking at the box score, 32 points in 35 minutes, 10 of 17, just 6 of 11 from three. And I say just 6 of 11, because we're talking about Steph Curry. I thought the Spurs defense on him last night was good. And with no Derek White tonight, Dejounte will get some of that as well. But the Spurs at the beginning of the fourth quarter, when Draymond and Steph were on the bench, didn't they start the quarter? It was like a 15-3 run. And, I thought it was interesting that Steve Kerr said after the game last night that he wasn't going to extend the minutes of Steph Curry just to chase wins. And, Steph still played 35 minutes last night. So what is he going to get, 40, 45 minutes trying to chase some wins? But I do think the Spurs have to play the matchup game. When Steph isn't out there, they have to take advantage, because when Steph is out there, obviously Steph's going to do some damage. And if he gets hot, it could be big time issues.
Exactly. He's a handful. And Kelly Oubre was a complete thorn in the Spurs side last night as well. And so with the two of them, if you anticipate them shooting well again tonight, which you have to, the Spurs are going to have to bring that same defensive intensity they did last night. They did a great job with switching. They were very aggressive, good communication. They had a game plan and followed it well. Steph still was able to do his Steph fourth quarter magic kind of stuff. But luckily for the Spurs, they were able to hold on their side. So I definitely see Devin Vassell getting in just as much as last night. He played close to over 20 minutes, a minute or two less than Patty. I see the two of them coming in quite often tonight to help relieve the Steph Curry duty.
Spurs got Golden State tonight, the second game of a back-to-back. The Golden State Warriors continue to deal with injuries far worse than what the Spurs have. Their bigs are all basically hurt, just a couple that they can bring off the bench, or just one they can bring off the bench, and Draymond. There seems to be a dearth in the paint. The Spurs capitalized pretty well. Jakob comes off with a double-double, and the combination of Rudy and Trey Lyles, they were reasonably effective. Do you see them going back to the well and working that low pick and roll and watching Pirtle get a bunch of trash baskets off skinnier and thinner guys?
Oh yeah, you said it. That low pick and roll, high post screen, those worked very well last night. Jakob was wide open, and also even if it does have two men over guarding him, he still has such a height advantage that you throw it at the right angle at the right time, and it's still going to be a possible bucket for him. So I loved their game plan last night. Like you said, pick and roll, the high ball screens. I think if they were able to continue that same offensive rhythm again tonight, I mean, Dejounte Murray, 27 points last night, to ask that again of him would be great. But at the same time, we also want that from DeMar DeRozan every night, and that is hard to come by. So if you have one of those guys with a hotter night than usual, I think that would be fantastic for the Spurs.
Going to be difficult at best to take a second game, but what we saw was what we expected from Golden State. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to run Steph off of picks all night long. Do the Spurs have the legs to keep up? Derek White did an admirable job, but it hurt his offensive game. You could tell that he was spending all of his money on the defensive side, is what Pop's been preaching, and they're going to certainly have to do it again tonight. Watching what we saw last night, do you expect one of the others to step forward? Will Kelly Oubre continue that run, and he's the guy that is the wild card tonight? You control him, you might control the game.
I mean, yeah, I would say so, right? Because you have the same plan with Steph Curry. I think the Spurs now look at Oubre as, okay, this is clearly a guy that could easily hurt us just as much as Steph. If we put all our attention and focus and effort on Steph, then this guy is going to step up, as he should from the Warriors' perspective. So hopefully, this is something they've talked about. This is obviously something they're going to game plan for and make adjustments throughout the way. But you're right. I think legs and just overall fatigue, maybe coming from such a top effort last night, is going to play a factor.
Well, and you look at that, and I sit here and I think, all right, you talk about the legs. DeMar played 35 minutes last night. Dejounte 36. Everybody else was under 30. When I look at the minutes of the Golden State Warriors, if there's a team that's going to have legs issues, I would think it would be those guys. Yet my expectation is the Spurs haven't won the second game of a back-to-back all year, and it ain't going to start tonight, right? I mean, when although when I've had a feeling Spurs should dominate, they get their ass kicked. When I think they're going to get beat, they come out and win. It's that roller coaster kind of season. But if I'm hearing legs, I'm thinking that's more of a Golden State issue than it is a San Antonio Spurs issue going into tonight. Although our two best players that are available tonight are the ones that had all the minutes last night.
Absolutely. It's going to be a rough one. Seconds do not do well with the San Antonio Spurs. And when this is done, wave goodbye. 7 road games in the offing. They will head to the East for just the third time all season. We're going to go feast on the East. But tonight, Golden State on the docket. Can they get one more as they head away for what will be an interminably long rodeo road trip? Jill, thanks for joining us. Jason Minix, I'm Rob Thompson. We'll be back tomorrow on The Blitz.
What the heck is going on in Houston?
Well, if it's a foregone conclusion, and whether they try for Bieniemy and he can't come, and it further distances Deshaun, that the decision has to be made to trade him, or if Casario was brought in for this very reason, your first job as the new guy is to trade